fake the handoff, reverse around the far side. Look at that close. And then the splash play on the tackle.
Hamilton cuts his way back to the middle part of the field. He's off to the races and gone. Another touchdown.
Post Prep's Game of the Week, presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
We're at the North Area Athletic Complex, affectionately known as the NAC, and it's the biggest game in town. It's the biggest game in the state in Class 5A. Number 1, Valor Christian on the road to take on number 2, Pomona. Hi, everybody. I'm Cory. Lopez. D. White is alongside, and a cast of thousands. No, just a handful of guys that got this done. The stuff that was going on behind the scenes is unbelievable. We got everything together in time to go on the air. We appreciate you watching our Denver Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse here. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can always comment. Kyle Newman will join us at halftime. Denver Post Preps writer, you have questions for him, make sure that you comment there. All of this is powered by our friends at Stream It Sports, and they got the job done here and got us on the air. So glad you're along with us. D, this is a matchup, an epic matchup between two teams that have turned out to be rivals since they've been in the last 2 state championships.
Not your traditional rivalry, but in this essence, 2 years in a row, 2 regular season matchups in which Pomona comes out on top. Then you turn around in both of those postseasons and Valor gets the win. So the history between these two teams is electric. It does not get any bigger than this in Colorado high school football, and I am so ready to watch this game tonight.
It's going to be a fun one, and the kick is away, and it's into the end zone, and Valor's going to start at their own 20-yard line here. And let's tell you about that Valor lineup as we take a look at the offensive starters, if we've got them up there. Brent Stenstrom and Luke McCaffrey will switch off at quarterback. It's pick your poison, essentially.
Yeah, either way you go there, it's going to be problems for Pomona. However, the guy that you may be wanting to watch tonight, if you're watching Valor Christian's offense, is Josiah Davis, the kid that's getting some attention from Colorado and some other schools in the state, but a kid that is electric, and when he gets his hands on the ball, you definitely have to find out where number 7 is.
Yes, number 7, and he's in the backfield right now as they get set to go here. Valor Christian under center, that's Stenstrom. He's in a little bit of trouble, flushed out here to the near side. Now we'll fire it up there, and a back shoulder pass. He was looking for Josiah Davis there, but again, good coverage by the Panthers.
Looks like they're trying him out at wide receiver just to kind of switch some things up. Now, watching some game film on Valor, one thing that you can always expect from the Valor Eagles, Coach Sherman is going to come at you from a lot of different angles. You're going to see probably never see the same formation 2 plays in a row. They like to switch it up a lot and come at you from a lot of different angles, so that's what I expect tonight.
By the way, Santos Magina on the coverage on that one. There's your different formation. You got 2 running backs out of the pistol set here, and it's a run here to the left side. And looking for a little bit of room, not much there, as Davis will get the carry, take it out to near the 23-yard line.
Now for Valor early on in this game, the biggest thing for them, the biggest key to winning is to dominate the line of scrimmage. They've got the power up front offensively and defensively. They have some big hogs up front, so it'll be interesting to see how Pomona's defensive line mixes up with Valor's offensive line. You got some big boys up front.
Here we go, 3rd down and 7, and now an empty backfield here. No, I take that back, got the eye back. Sitting there, just a single setback, and they're going to reset the tight end, but then whistles go. Tell you about that tight end. That is Ben Anderson, already 11 catches this year.
The kid is making some noise. He's a big kid, tall, likes to get his hands on the ball, and after he does get his hands on the ball, he likes to move around a little bit. Likes to get some of that yak, as we say, yards after catch. So we'll be looking to see him beating up the middle of the Pomona defense possibly tonight. But you got a lot of players on this Pomona defense that like to fly around, hair on fire, as we like to say it in the coaching community, and that's what you want from a defense. And so far, early on in this game, it looks like Pomona's been able to do that defensively.
Jay Madden, one of the coaches that is out there talking to his players. Nice alternate uniforms, the grays with the blacks outlined there in the white numbers. In the meantime, Rod Sherman's the head coach for Valor, and for Valor Christian, they come rolling in here undefeated, beat the likes of Faith Lutheran. No, not the Faith Lutheran here, the team out of Las Vegas, and then Mullen here in Denver, and then the Greater Atlanta Christian High School in Atlanta.
That's a big trip for a Colorado team heading down to the South. Anytime you're going to play a team from the South, you have to show up. And not only did they show up, but they won the game down in Georgia.
All right, here we go. Big third down and 7 set up here. Anderson resets to the right side. Back to pass Stenstrom. Looking here to the near side. He's got nobody there. Hit as he throws, and it is nearly off. He was looking for his other tight end this time, but great pressure by Pomona. Kenny Mays, one of the guys getting through there on the coverage that time, but that front three got through.
A bevy of defenders making it into the backfield early against Valor's offensive line, which is something that I did not expect the way I watch film. But once you get into these big games, these rivalry games, not only are you looking at the physical and what these teams have done in the previous games, but it also, you have to factor in the mental side of this. This is probably the biggest game of the season. Now, obviously, we're talking about week 4, so you don't want to go too crazy with it. But this is a huge game, possibly could have huge implications going into the playoffs, and we've seen nothing but that the last 2 seasons as both of these teams have been in the 5A state championship game.
All right, grounding here. Lose the down, 4th down, and they move them all the way back here to the 10-yard line. So Valor will have to punt. That'll be Easton Cecil that'll be the punter back there. In the meantime, for Pomona, they will line up back there, and you can bet that there's some dangerous guys there. Left-footed kicker, this one going straight up in the air. Not a great punt at all. Bounds at about the 34-yard line, and that's where it's going to stay. Great position here for Pomona after forcing a 3-and-out.
Time to look out for that 3-headed monster of Pomona. Marquez, the quarterback, senior. Papasil, the best wide receiver that they have, junior. And then, of course, Mr. Do-Everything for the Pomona Panthers, Max Borghi, the Washington State commit. I'm sure he'll be looking to have a big game tonight. And I think there's probably going to be a couple of scouts in the stands tonight, too.
Yeah, I would imagine. Borghi, number 21, he's in the backfield, standing right next to Marcus. Not going to get it this time. Marcus in a little bit of trouble now. He's going to take off with his feet, and he's caught from behind. Big 55 got to him for Valor as he came crashing in there.
Seeing a little bit of happy feet from both quarterbacks to start the game here. Again, big game, a lot of emotion. We got to see which one of these teams is able to settle in first.
Zalaji in on the sack that time. Here we go, 2nd down. Look out, get it to Borghi. Borghi bouncing to the outside, trying to break tackles. Not going to happen that time. A clean tackle by Jaden Watson in the backfield after Borghi sidestepped 2 defenders.
And Jaden Murray crashed in was the first defender to kind of crash into the backfield to force Borghi to bounce it outside and wait for his help to arrive, and that's exactly what happened. 3rd and long situation here for Pomona. Got to be careful.
Yeah, Pomona's going backwards here. Panthers got a 3rd and 13. Marcus, look out, little trouble now, still on the run. Pumps once, and he is sacked back at the 46-yard line, and on the sack is Ethan Zeeby.
This is a kid that leads this Valor Christian team in sacks so far this year, and I think he just added another one to that. There's nothing better for a defender than putting your hands on the quarterback and have no referee to do anything about it. It's all you and me, buddy, and he went straight to the ground. Great play there.
That's sack number 3 for the season for Zemia, I believe is how it is pronounced here. The punt for Pomona, and defense ruling the way here. Fair catch taken at about the 12-yard line, and wisely taken that time. Ryan T-Bolt, actually Caden Keith, the guy that took that one as they sent 2 back to try to run this one back here.
Now in this game, we talked about it earlier, Valor has to dominate the line of scrimmage. So far we haven't seen that. Obviously 1 drive for each, a punt for each team. But the other thing that Pomona needs to be able to do is they need to be able to contain that backfield of Stenstrom, Davis, and McCaffrey. McCaffrey, a kid that obviously we know that last name just a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, Max just getting picked up by an NFL team last week. You got Christian down there in Carolina. You got Dylan out there in Michigan. And then you got another McCaffrey in Luke, the youngest of all the brothers, who's tearing it up at several different positions. He's played quarterback. He's played running back. He's played wide receiver. He's even been involved in the return game as well. So this is a kid you're going to want to keep your eye on. Make sure you know where number 2 is. But again, Josiah Davis, a pounder, a kid that's got some quick feet, that sweet feet that we talk about all the time, Corey.
Yeah.
He's got them. And Stenstrom, a guy that has a good arm, a commit to Colorado. But something that you may not realize is the kid can move. If after he gets outside the pocket, he can definitely make some things happen. So if Pomona can slow down that 3-headed monster as Valor's going to try and do with Borghi, Marquez, and Papasil. It's going to be an interesting game tonight.
I want to say thank you to the over 40 fabulous years. Thank you for giving. It is actually 42 years exactly, making American Furniture Warehouse the #1 furniture store. Started with a simple business plan and continuing to bring customers the biggest in-stock selection, no gimmicks, the slowest prices anywhere, anytime. The Post-Preps Game of the Week here, presented by American Furniture Warehouse. Second opportunity for the Valor offense after a 32-yard punt by Pomona and a 3-and-out caused by the Valor defense. Okay, Davis sets back behind in the eye here. He's going to get the football as he picks his way through that right side and will fall forward to about the 16-yard line. And right in the middle on the tackle, there is big number 48. That's Doug Mills.
Well, and Cory, we talked about before the game, if you're a defensive coordinator, it keeps you up at night. You lose sleep when you have to deal with a team that comes out in this many formations. We've already seen 2 tight end sets. We see a single tight end set here with twins to the near side. I mean, they're going to come at you from all different angles.
Got about 4 yards there. 2nd down and 6 coming here. Stenstrom is still the quarterback here. We'll keep an eye out for number 2, see if he's around. This time pulled out by Stenstrom. He's going to run it himself up to near the 22-yard line and very close to a first down. Stenstrom not afraid to run the ball. They give him that yardage. He's got over 100 yards for the season.
So it looks like they're going to give him the first down here. It's going to be really close. Nope, they are going to give it to him. But this is a little bit of that athleticism that we talked about. The fact that he can run some option looks. I saw some triple option. I saw some wing T concepts from this team, even as recent as Greater Atlanta Christian. So we're going to see a lot of different variations, and it's going to come down to Pomona's discipline and being able to identify these different formations and know exactly where to attack to be the most successful.
The first down of the game, as a matter of fact. I set here, receiver out to the right side. Everybody else is in tight. Stenstrom's going to pass, and he's looking to go up top to his man. One-on-one there, going up, and the ball is knocked away from Ryan Bolt. Thibault had a beat on it there. Great coverage. Riley Welsh, the DB for Pomona.
Great play there by Welsh. Rides the outside hip of the wide receiver, as you see there on the replay, and just at the very last second, without causing a pass interference, sticks that right hand in there and is able to knock the ball down. Great defensive play for Pomona. Now you're looking at 2nd and long for Valor, so we'll see what they come up with here. And then yet again, Cory, another formation.
Yep, there's Stenstrom standing in the pistol set. You see on his right hip there is Davis. Trips up top. Here we go. Give it off to Davis. Looking for some room over that right side. Has some room there up to about the 29-yard line and grabbing him around the ankles. Looks like it's Kyle Moretti.
And you see a little bit of that explosion as he takes that ball. It's effortless for him to get 3 and 4 and 5 yards as long as this Valor offensive line continues to press here. But this is a big down for Valor's offense right now. You had the 2 punts early on, 1 from each school. So now with it being 3rd and short here in your own side of the field, do you take a risk here? Maybe you take a shot, or do they stay conservative and maybe go underneath here?
Got to get to the 32-yard line. Stenstrom, the quarterback, resets Thibault to that slot position. Looking. Now Pump's got his man, and the catch made at the 41-yard line. That's the big tight end there, Ben Anderson.
Old Faithful. As a quarterback, the one thing that you like to rely on, the 2 biggest things you rely on as a quarterback is a running game and a tight end. If you can find somebody that gives you that comfortability in the pocket as a quarterback, to know that guy's going to always be open, a Jason Witten, if you will, type of player, it just eases the mind of the quarterback and allows them to get into the groove of the game much easier.
12th catch of the year, got 11 yards out of it there, so he's gone for over 127 yards on the season. Fullback will get this one. Easton Cecil on the quick hitter up to about the 42-yard line. And diving up there to make the play, Garrett Warner, along with the line that was just trying to shed the blocks.
Looks like Joey Bush got in there as well, number 82, able to make a little bit of confusion in that Valor offensive line. Took advantage of a gap, shot it, and made a play on the fullback.
All right, here we go. I said again, Stenstrom's the quarterback. Slot right to the wide side of the field, and a sprint play, and Davis is snowed under that time. Big 82 once again. Is that Warner again?
It is Warner again. Warner again making 2 big plays back to back, and that's a hard thing to do. We gave all this praise to Deshaia Davis. An even better play maybe by Warner tackling him in space, which is really hard to do.
3rd down and 9 coming up here for Valor. A couple of 3 and outs for each team. This is the 2nd time that the Eagles have had the football here. They've been moving. They've got a couple of first downs, but now, or 1 first down, 2 first downs, I should say, and now it's 3rd and 9. Trips that left side. Stenstrom's going to go the other way. Be short anyway. He was looking for keep over there, and on the coverage, I believe it was Muller.
Great coverage again on that top hand side there. Great defense period from really the secondary of Pomona. Both defenses, both Valor and Pomona's defense, really putting it to the offenses early in this game. Now Pomona with a chance, get a little bit of that field position back. Let's see what they can do with it here.
I'll correct myself. It has been 2 first downs as Cecil comes out to punt this one away. Rugby style, nope, it'll be Stenstrom instead as he punts to the right side, and this one bounding down and actually taken over there on the far side at about the 18-yard line. That's a pretty good punt.
That may be something to watch later on in the game. Now, it looks routine now and a little bit of that rugby style, but anytime that you have a quarterback back there receiving that punt and you do the rugby style, that gives you some options if it's a short situation on 4th down and maybe you want to take a shot. So that's going to be something to watch. Also, on the other side, Marquez or Borghi is the punter for Pomona, so we could see some of that on the other side as well.
That's very true. Break here. This is the Denver Post Preps Game of the Week number 1 and number 2. It's presented by AFW.
American Furniture Warehouse is the largest furniture retailer in the country. And now you can order online at thenewafw.com. Shop the largest selection of living room, bedroom, and dining room collections, all right here at the lowest prices. We'll carefully pack and ship your new furniture directly to your home, where our own professionally trained drivers will set it up for you. We can deliver almost anywhere in the U.S. in our own fleet of trucks. Shop online with nationwide delivery at American.
Got an idea you think would make a great story in the Denver Post? Submit it at denverpost.com/news tips.
Post Preps Game of the Week. Number 1, Valor Christian. And number 2, Pomona. Pomona with the football 2nd time around for them after forcing Valor to punt. And there is Ryan Marcus, senior quarterback. And there is Robeson, and a nice catch off the side and down that far side. Finally knocked out of bounds. Find a way to get right there.
We talked about it before this game. This Papa Sil kid, I'm telling you, to me, he may be the most dynamic weapon that Pomona has. Now, I know Max Borghi gets a lot of the love, but if you're talking about yards after catch and making big plays happen, it's been Billy Pospisil.
All right, Pospisil with that catch, that run, and now they quickly hustle up to the line. They hand it off, go off that left side there, up to near the 35-yard line, and that is Robeson with the carry. So Robeson and Borghi are the guys that are going to share the load here. Ryan Thiebold on the tackle, and quickly that hurry-up offense. They'll go up the middle, a little bounce by Robeson, and he'll be stopped. Got a couple out of it to about the 34.
I tell you what, if you saw Robeson in a dark alley, you probably wouldn't tuck your wallet away, but I tell you what, you probably should. This is a kid that is tough. He's hard-nosed, but he's got some speed, he's got some shiftiness, and filled in very well for Max Borghi while he's been banged up.
3rd and 4 here. Marcus, a little pressure, now fires, going to be short. Couldn't step into the pass. Had Colton Muller over here, although Muller had a little bit of work to do to try to get that first down.
And it looks like they may have missed somebody right down the middle of the seam. I don't know if that was Pospisil, but if it was, boy, they're going to regret that one when they go back and look at film. But again, the pass just not there on 2nd down.
3rd down, long 3 here. Marcus, play action, tried to fire this time over the middle. It is incomplete. had his receiver there, but boy, that was a hot one coming out.
Now, if you're Coach Madden, do you punt here, long field goal, or do you go for it? Basically what we call this is no man's land. It's too long possibly for a field goal. It's almost too short for a punt. So you're probably just going to end up going for it right now. And I know we're not probably supposed to bet on air, Corey, but I'll bet you that this ball is going to end up in the hands of Max Borghi or Pospisil. If you want to bet on it, I'll bet you a Subway sandwich.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. We've got a half dozen
I
sitting out behind.
Corey. I eat footlongs.
It was Pospisil that was the intended receiver there over the middle, by the way. Referees conferring. Let's see what we got. There we go. That was a 4th down play. I wondered what was going on. The gentlemen that are running the chain gang over there did not switch it. So I went with what they had over there on the down marker.
We almost had a Colorado-Missouri situation.
Yes,
was this almost
indeed.
a 5th down type of thing that just happened right now?
Very close. Well, it's Valor's turn. They forced him over on downs here. So a change of possession. Long count. Stenstrom still the guy. Handed off. Davis picking his way through. Look at that. Like a scat back, picked his way through to about the 37-yard line there. Oh, he's got quick feet.
And what we talk about, sweet feet, right?
Yeah.
I might have to come up with a nickname for him by the time the game's over, but you like that little quick pitter-patter, that foot frequency that we talk about, and then once he makes a decision, he is all up and downhill. And here's a wing T look right here.
There we go. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 here. And whoop, stop things there. McCaffrey got hit as he came out with the wing T. You got McCaffrey was ready to run it. Tanner Kimino. Okay, walking backwards, brings up a 2nd down and 10. Let's see if they switch out personnel here. I was going to say Kimino did the sportsmanlike thing and held McCaffrey up there.
Right. But now, again, you see McCaffrey in there. This is that wrinkle we talked about. You're going to see him at quarterback, receiver, running back. We'll see what he does here. He likes to run under the quarterback position.
There we go. In trouble. Nope. Gave it off to another guy. Well disguised. And the roll to the right side. Cecil over on the far side. And the chains are moving.
If we can get a replay of that, actually we're seeing it right here. Look at the flip that he just kind of, his body isn't even exactly turned to the wide receiver, just kind of underhand tosses it, going backyard football. You think the McCaffreys played some football back in the backyard, those 4?
Yeah, they certainly did. 12 yards on that nifty pickup. Going to stay with McCaffrey under center here, and he'll hand it off first man through, trying to keep him honest. The fullback will fall forward for a couple. Jack Armstrong with his first carry into the heart of that defense of Pomona.
Something else to look for. You know, coaches like to set up defenses, and what I'm seeing right now, generally the fullback is not a huge part of your offense, but the fact that Valor is running that fullback, they're doing it to get into the mind of Pomona, waiting for them to get comfortable, thinking that'll be that fullback dive, and they're going to pull it out and run some triple option. Look for that later in the game.
All right, 2nd down and 10 here. Shotgun time. And Davis will get this one as he tries to pick his way through. Got to about the 43-yard line, and that was about it. He kind of got submarined a little bit that time.
I am very impressed so far with this Pomona defensive front. Warner and Marquez and Allen and Kimino. These guys are really fighting and holding their own up there with this big Valor front 6. If you include Anderson as the tight end for them. So this is what you want to see from these two type of teams. Smash mouth, beat it up, a little bit of high flying early, but most of it's been running game so far.
Kyle Moretti in on the tackle that time. There's another name we've been talking about. 3rd down and 7. Stenstrom back to pass. Got a man here in the slot, pulled in near the 38-yard line. That is McCaffrey running a pretty precise route. The ball was thrown before he made his break.
You got to be pretty versatile to throw a pass for a first down and then catch a pass for a first down 2 plays later. So, again, keep an eye on number 2 and number 7. Those are going to be your playmakers offensively for Valor.
10 yards there. They only needed 7. Another first down for Valor. Stenstrom, quick flick out to the right side and trying to work his way through over there. again is McCaffrey up to near the 40-yard line. A host of Panthers in on the tackle.
And I love what Coach Sherman is doing right now offensively. They started struggling early on, trying to take some shots, trying to make some big plays. Now it's dink and dunk. Let your athletes create plays for you offensively instead of trying to take those chances down the field. Let your athletes make plays.
2nd down and 8. Stenstrom's the quarterback and an eye set behind him. Slot here to the near side. Long count, fullback. No, Stenstrom pulls it out. He's got it himself and is tackled from behind. Big hit on Stenstrom, but again, the chains are moving.
Well, and we just alluded to the fact that we saw that fake from the fullback, or the fullback dive. That gets those linebackers keyed in on the fullback and wanting to close those gaps. And as soon as they did, Stenstrom pulls it, keeps it, and is able to run for a first down.
Luke Roheader on the tackle, the junior, able to catch from behind Stenstrom. First down and 10, though, at the Pomona 32-yard line. Reset the big H back there in front now. Stenstrom's got a little bit of time, steps up, throws over the top, and it is Davis with the catch at the 9-yard line. The DB got turned around on that one. If Davis could have kept his feet, that's a touchdown.
Now, Davis not only being your best running back, but is also the second leading receiver on this team with 10 catches coming into this game. So not a surprise with well over 160 yards receiving from Davis.
Down to the red zone here. Quick throw out here to the near side, and it is incomplete as McCaffrey is slammed down there. Santos Magina knocked the wind out of McCaffrey as they read that one perfectly. It was going to be a smoke route there.
I'm pretty sure Magina chews lead in the morning instead of Wheaties. That is a big boy hit right there. To take on the block, fight off the blocker, and still make a play on a dynamic player like McCaffrey. Great play by Magina.
I see Valor going all the way over to the sideline here with 26 seconds left as they get with the coach, and McCaffrey will come off on his own power.
Nice to see him walking off on his own. I'm sure he'll be coming back into the game. The competitive nature in that kid, I'm sure, will be shown throughout the rest of the night.
Denver Post Preps game of the week here, presented by American Furniture Warehouse. No gimmicks, no high pressure selling, just the best selection of lifestyle furniture at the best prices to fit any budget. Near side hash mark. Stenstrom's going to go out of the pistol set. Davis is on his left hip here. Looking left, still looking, in trouble, and whoop, ball's on the ground, but Davis will fall on top of it at the 20-yard line. That was meet at the quarterback situation there. Orona, one of the guys that got there for Pomona.
I'm pretty sure this conversation went a little bit like this, Cory. Hey, you going to the quarterback? Yeah, I'm going to the quarterback. You going to the quarterback too? Yeah, let's just meet there and have dinner. That's basically what we saw in the backfield there. A little bit of outside pressure, something that we haven't seen. Most of the pressures come from the inside, but now getting some outside pass rush coming around those edges.
End of the quarter, no score. Valor with the football and a decision when we come back. Denver Post Preps game of the week presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
Next Post Preps TV broadcast, pull out those phones. If you've got video of an amazing high school sports highlight, we want to see it. Send it to us so you could be featured in the social spotlight segment of Post Preps TV. Tweet it to us at Post Preps or at Kyle Newman DP, or send us a message on our Facebook page. Your clip might make the cut and be featured on the next episode of Post Preps TV. Colorado's news, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7, denverpost.com/DPTV. Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps.
TV to find the channel in your area. Altitude Sports.
Back we come here to the NAC, getting ready to start second quarter action here. American Furniture Warehouse bringing you our Denver Post Preps game of the week. A little crowded here at the NAC, but we got things done, ready to go. And Valor now, maybe without Luke McCaffrey for a little bit, as we saw him get slammed down to the ground there on a screen pass that went awry. So for the time being, they're not going to have number 2 out there.
Well, I see him walking around the sideline still with his helmet, so that's a good thing. And it looks like he's headed over to the head coach. So we may see him here again pretty soon, but right now, Valor without him on this long third down.
All right, just inside the 20-yard line here. Stenstrom got a little bit of a pocket, stepping up, firing into the end zone, too high. He was looking for Thibault down there. Good coverage that time, Riley Welch.
Boy, that play right there shows you why Stenstrom is going to the University of Colorado.
Yes.
He read his reads, he stepped up in the pocket, he maintained his form, he kept his shoulders high, kept his elbow up, looking downfield, found his guy, just a little bit too much on it. If he pulls that pinky down, he's probably got him.
Brian Borgen is the kicker from 37. It's good. A 37-yard field goal, and the first points are up on the board. A nice kick there on a night where the wind is blowing a little bit. We had a bit of a system come through here in Arvada. 11:49 left to go here in the first half. A 3-0 lead. Number 1 Valor up on number 2 Pomona. This is the Denver Post Preps Game of the Week presented by AFW.
With the largest showrooms and best selection, today's American Furniture Warehouse has something for everyone. We carry hundreds of accent chairs, stools, and recliners at prices that you've come to expect from American. If you haven't been to one of our 14 locations in Colorado or Arizona, come in and take a look. Or shop online at AFW.com, and we'll white glove deliver into your home and set it up for you. American Furniture Warehouse, the lowest prices anywhere.
Watch new episodes of Post Preps TV with Kyle Newman every week at denverpost.com/preps.
From the knack here, the kickoff. Brogan, who kicked the 37-yard field goal, will put this one into the end zone, and we are back here. Good drive for Pomona, though. It's a victory, holding them to a field goal.
Yeah, I think getting them to 3rd and long, that's really going to change some things. As we look up into the stands, looks like we've got the McCaffrey family out there, everybody there, including Eddie Mack himself, a guy I loved watching as a Broncos fan growing up. A little bit of success out of that family. If you're a
Yeah,
parent, like, who do you watch?
Yeah, I know.
You got 4 different kids balling in 4 different areas in 4 different states. I mean, I don't know what you do. How do you get all the packages to watch everything? I mean, you get some phone stuff? I mean,
sometimes
what do you do?
Eddie and Lisa have to split up to go watch. And Eddie gave up his color analyst job with the Broncos because he knew he was going to be very busy on the weekends. High school, college football games, just Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays are all taken up. There's Max Borgie off to the left side. He comes just about a yard out of that as they're able to spread that out a little bit and get him out of bounds.
So far the running games have been muted so far defensively on both sides of the field, but the passing game has kind of been keeping teams afloat here as we get a penalty.
Well, Pomona trying to get that hurry-up offense, and that has worked for them a little bit.
Absolutely.
Here, speed the tempo up a little bit.
Well, and Marquez just seems to be more comfortable out of the shotgun. He does well under center. You see some pro-style stuff the last 2 years, but they know he's more comfortable out of the shotgun, and that's exactly what we've seen. And so far this year, it's worked out very well for him, completing over 69% of his passes as well as running for over 100 yards.
Back to the 17 it goes now, 2nd down and 15. Marcus over the middle, and it is in and out of the hands of the receiver here as he turned back to try to make that catch. That was David Ross, the junior, a little bit behind him there, but boy, you come up with that, you put a lot of pressure on that defense.
Marcus putting it on the money right there. You can't put it any better to your receiver right now. And now, again, trips to the far side. Let's see what they come up with on 3rd down.
Marcus setting up the screen over on the far side, hit and down at the 16-yard line. Ended up losing a yard that time, and all because it was Chase Lopez, the leading tackler for Valor, coming in and sticking it.
Lopez is going to be everywhere all night long. He's also the last line of defense. You see him in that safety, strong safety, extra guy in the box type of look, and he's a sure tackler. And one good sign of good coaching on both sides of the field is we haven't seen a whole lot of missed tackles, a lot of sure tackles straight to the ground.
Whistles go. Borgie will be the punter here. Always dangerous, but again, he's standing almost on the goal line here, but another penalty.
Yeah, and we talked about that earlier. makes it a little bit shorter kick there with the penalty. But again, this is something to keep your eye on. As you said, backed up into your own end zone, maybe not now, but later on in the game, having somebody dynamic like that as your punter could cause some problems.
Werge has to hustle and get this one away. Diebold is going to take the fair catch at about the 37-yard line, and that's where Valor will have the football after another pretty good punt.
Max Borghi actually put a good foot in that one. I mean, he's been splitting time with Marcus as the punter, and Valor, this is an opportunity for them to maybe take a shot early. If I'm Coach Sherman, with the way this game is going, you've got a 3-point lead, 10 minutes left in the second quarter. This is when Pomona is probably going to expect you to come out with the lead, establish the run with Davis. Maybe this is when you take that shot. If you've got a guy that you think you can get behind the defense, this is a good time to take that shot almost at the 40-yard line here. So I'd see them taking a shot here. Now, they could go back to the ground and pound. We'll see a little bit more of that from Davis, but I'd expect Valor to take a shot here.
American Furniture Warehouse celebrating another anniversary. Over the years, our business has grown from a single small store to 14 locations in 2 states with national recognition, and we have you to thank for that. Find out more, AFW.com, or stop by one of the American Furniture Warehouse locations. 10:21 to go here in the first half, and a 3-0 lead for Valor, and another opportunity here for the Eagles as they hold that lead. Some scores going on right now. Not a big one going at Stutler Bowl in the first quarter now. Grandview up on Cherry Creek 13-7. So that's a pretty good battle.
Yep.
A final in Fort Collins played earlier today. Bear Creek with the win. They beat Fossil Ridge 36-23. Mountain Vista tied with Arapahoe in the second quarter, 7 apiece. And Overland Rangeview also 7 apiece in the first quarter. Eagle Crest 6-0 lead over Cherokee Trail. Being played at Legacy Stadium out there. That's a home game, feels like, for both of them. Okay, here comes Valor now. And McCaffrey is out there. He's not the one who has the football, though. It is Davis up to near the 46-yard line.
Well, good to see McCaffrey back out there. He's not too shaken up and able to come back to the game. Maybe not for the Pomona defense, not wanting to see him back out there. Healthy, obviously, but not injured. But again, Davis, we talked about that running game. I thought maybe they would take a shot early here. It's still not out of the question, but definitely want to continue to establish that run game and dominate the line of scrimmage, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast.
Got 9 out of it, 2nd down and 1 now, and Stenstrom will give it off. Fullback falling forward, reaching forward is Cecil, and he's got the first down to the 49-yard line.
I've got to be honest. I'm a little jealous. I think as a fullback in my career, I think I ended up with 3 carries my entire career. We've seen at least double that almost in the first half for Cecil. So good for the big man getting some love. Very rarely, unless you're running some kind of a wing T type of offense, do you see the fullback getting that much love.
They're softening up the belly, that's for sure. Running behind the blocks of Dakota Bostic, the center there, Stephen Sherman and Peyton Rose. Back to pass. McCaffrey going up top, got a man there. And it is caught at the 11-yard line. He found Caden Keefe.
Caden Keefe runs right up the seam there and is able, you'll see it here on the replay, he runs right up the seam. Great pass from McCaffrey, a little underthrown, but just enough to get it out there. And a great catch by Keefe. Now Valor rolling and in business. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line.
38-yard pass there. McCaffrey's first. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not his first pass. He had the little no-look flick.
Correct.
But he had this time. He unloaded. It'll be McCaffrey under center. That's Luke McCaffrey with the eye set behind him. Turning and handing off. Davis has got this one. Looking for blocks. Not there. Might have gotten a yard out of it, but good pursuit that time. Jaden Padilla, one of the first guys in there, along with Michael Marcus.
This Pomona front 7 will not quit. They have not allowed Valor to really get that running game going. Again, most of their big plays coming through the air, and it looks like a referee timeout here.
And one of the players on the end there, they're trying to get the headgear, get him snapped up. I guess the official says it's okay now. 2nd and 10 coming now. Keefe is by himself here in the bottom part of your screen. Stacked up top. Stenstrom is the quarterback this time. Low snap, he's got it though. Looking, happy feet. Looking for a place to escape now. Fires on the run, caught, touchdown. There is Keefe in the end zone for Valor.
Again, Blake Stenstrom shows you why he is a commit to the University of Colorado. And Coach McIntyre and company have to be happy with what they just saw. The composure, this is something that I hope the people at home really realize. This is not something you see from every high school quarterback, to have that composure and that kind of pocket presence. Normally you would see a kid take off and run there, but the composure to not only find an open receiver, but have the ability to throw back across his body and throw a back of the end zone. Great play, as you see here on the replay.
There's Stenstrom. You look, he's just moving around the pocket, then looks up, and there is Keefe coming open in the middle of the end zone. Break here as the Denver Post Preps game of the week heating up. Valor with a 10-0 lead on Pomona. Denver Post Preps game of the week presented by AFW.
American Furniture Warehouse is the largest furniture retailer in the country. And now you can order online at the new AFW.com. Shop the largest selection of living room, bedroom, and dining room collections, all right here at the lowest prices. We'll carefully pack and ship your new furniture directly to your home, where our own professionally trained drivers will set it up for you. We can deliver almost anywhere in the U.S. in our own fleet of trucks. Shop online with nationwide delivery at American.
Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps. Don't want to...
Nice, Cory.
Nice. Back we go. Back we come here. It's Pomona, Valor Christian, number 1 and number 2. And right now, number 1 with the lead, 10-0. Beautiful pass. 5 plays, 63 yards, capped off. Blake Stenstrom finds Caden Keefe from 11 yards out.
I tell you what, am I the only one that gets a little excited when you hear Cotton Eye Joe? Is it just me? Is that still a thing? I mean, that was what, 90s? I don't know. Every time I hear that, I want to dance like the Irish jig, and I have no idea whatsoever how to Irish jig. I thought it was a drink before tonight.
I get excited when I hear it. I'm pacing myself, man. It's still the first half.
Right.
Kick just crosses the plane of the goal line, so Pomona, Max Borghi really wanted to take that one out, but it'll be Borghi and the Panthers trying to answer here, down 10-0.
Well, and I think the one thing you have to do if you're the Pomona Panthers right now, you cannot panic. A lot of teams get into this, and I would assume that a Jay Madden team probably would not panic. They've been in enough of these situations to know exactly what they need to do. Reestablish the running game. Get Max Borghi involved. We have yet to really see him take control in this game yet.
Ryan Marcus from the pistol set, going to keep it himself. They're going to the air, and he's going up top. Got his man caught right on cue. Borghi with the catch, or actually Pospisil. He's finally ripped down by Thibault. That's Pospisil, who nearly broke a tackle and got more.
I don't know how many times I can say it. This is the best weapon on the outside that the Pomona Panthers have right now, and they're going to continue to go to him as long as they can continue to make plays. As you also see Pomona trying to speed up the tempo a little bit and wear down Valor and get to the end zone somehow.
51 yards. Now they're at the 29-yard line here. Marcus will hand it off as they try to bounce to the outside. Not a lot of room over on that far side that time, as Robeson is the one who carried it that time. Just a gain of 1, testing that right side of the defense.
Well, and it's so hard when you have a guy his size running the ball as a defender, because you can't find him, because Pomona's offensive line is big, and it's hard to find a smaller player like that behind there, but able to find a way in that front 7 for Valor.
Running behind Drew Johnson and Josh Behill. Marcus now set to pass, got a little bit of room there, and that'll be a penalty. Jaden Watson just a little late getting there, trying to cover Riley Govan.
And Riley Govan really has been the big play receiver, although Pospisil has kind of been the guy that you can count on, Mr. Consistent. Govan has been the guy that's really pressed the field down.
Pass interference, so that will be against Watson. Federation rules, it's 15 yards. It's not a spot foul.
Correct.
And to feed off of what you said, Govan is the other guy. Like everybody's watching Pospisil, Govan's got to make plays himself and has here for the first 3 games.
Absolutely. If you look at his yards per catch, it almost doubles that of Pospisil. But Pospisil is your possession guy. Now, he can take some big shots, but Govan has kind of been the guy to stretch the field. But now that we're in this red zone area, don't be surprised to see some shots to Pospisil.
Marcus steps back. He'll go out of the shotgun once again. And you see Borghi moving to that left side and throw to the right side. It is caught. Nope. Incomplete over around the 10-yard line as he was looking for Govan again.
I'm going to tell you right now, Coach Madden's going to be coming back to that play sooner rather than later. They had Pospisil in motion, curled back around and ran a skinny post down the middle of the seam and was wide open. I think they'll probably be coming back to that at some point.
Marcus looking to the sideline to get the play here. 6:43 to go, as you can see here in this first half. Panthers trying to get on the board. Get right back into this one. Marcus will keep it, throws over the top. How about that? Little run there. That's David Ross again, the intended receiver, pretty well covered.
Brian Thibault was able to really dictate how that ball was thrown. The great coverage by him, forcing Marquez to be able to try and loft the ball over the top and just put a little bit too much on it. But again, Pomona still trying to speed up the process right now.
3rd down and 10. They can get a first down if they get to the 4-yard line here. A lot of jumping around on that Valor defense. Marcus going to reset. Look to the sideline. Okay, comfortable with what the call is. He's got time here. Whoops, snaps too high. He's going to have to get on it. Scoops it now. Still running, and is finally going to be snowed over there as that ball went over the top. Stuck with it. Hunter Carlson's going to get credit for the sack as the snap went over Marcus' head.
And Marcus not happy with his center on that one, and that basically kills your drive. Now you are forced to punt. Was that 4th? No, it's 4th down now. See that?
I know.
Our operator over there looks like he's having some problems tonight, but so it looks like it will be 4th down. Pomona's punting here, but again, that kills your drive after all that momentum.
Loss of 18, and watching, and finally Borghi's going to put this one up in the air, and into the end zone it goes. He's got a great leg. Too much of one this time. 5:52 to go here. We'll keep it here. It's the Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse. For over 40 years, AFW has enjoyed an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For our dedicated customer service, the service teams, and the sales consultants, American Furniture Warehouse.
Boy, Valor breathing a sigh of relief there as Borghi kind of delayed that punt a little bit, waiting for his coverage to get down there, kicks a beautiful ball, and the person that receives it had just 1 foot in the end zone to bring it out to the 25 or the 20.
It's Valor's turn. Stenstrom, the quarterback, hand off to the I back here. Davis slips through a tackle, and now it's off to the races. One man's trying to catch him to the 40, 30. He gone.
That is why you watch for Josiah Davis. We said it at the beginning of the game. You're seeing it again here. If you give that kid a crease, you might as well kiss it goodbye. He ran so fast, we thought maybe that's where the storm came in from earlier today when he was in warm-ups. Great burst there, breaks a couple of tackles, people nipping at his ankles going through the hole, and then once he's in daylight, folks, forget about it. You're not catching that kid.
80 yards on the touchdown run on the first down play here. The kick by Rogan is up and good.
Heartbreaker for Pomona there. Heartbreaker to have that drive stopped on the bad snap, and then for Pomona or Valor to come right back with that touchdown.
Break here, 17-0. It is Valor up on Pomona. The Post Preps Game of the Week presented by AFW.
At American
Furniture Warehouse is the largest furniture retailer in the country. And now you can order online at the new AFW.com. Shop the largest selection of living room, bedroom, and dining room collections, all right here at the lowest prices. We'll carefully pack and ship your new furniture directly to your home where our own professionally trained drivers will set it up for you. We can deliver almost anywhere in the U.S. in our own fleet of trucks. Shop online with nationwide delivery at American.
Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps.
Back we come here to the net, and happy sideline over the number 1 Valor Christian, now a 17-0 lead. How about that? Snap over the head of the quarterback on a 3rd down play in the red zone, so they have to punt. And then Valor turns around and takes that punt from the 20-yard line, and they first play 80 yards, Josiah Davis.
The momentum game is always a huge one. And it looked like Pomona was getting ready to take all the momentum back, best drive of the game, and then one mistake mutes that whole drive. And then to add insult to injury, the first play for Valor coming back, 80-yard touchdown. This is what kills first halves for team. I don't want to say they're complacent, but they have got to find a way to find some energy again and not allow the last drive to dictate the rest of this half.
Pomona's got 5 minutes, 37 seconds to try to get something done here, and before they can get anything going, the whistle blows. A later start, 7:30 Mountain Time, so we've got some games going on here.
Big slate of games, as usual, for Chassa this week.
We gave you the 5A rundown. We're watching the 4A too for you. Pine Creek with a 16-0 lead at home over Vista Ridge. That's a big one going in Class 4A. Meantime, here comes Pomona. Marcus setting it up, caught here, and nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go. Well played. Matthew T-Bolt read that one the whole way.
You know, at first when you said T-Bolt, I almost thought you said T-Bow, and I was like, does he have younger brothers? But you've got the twins out there, which makes it even more complicated between the two of them. But a great play, fighting off the blocker, getting inside of his man, and making a great tackle there. Again, very, very, very good tackling from the Valor secondary.
David Ross, the intended receiver, got a yard out of the whole thing. Keeping it this time and on the run. Here comes Marcus, and finally out of bounds he goes, the 42-yard line. Biggest gain of the game is Ryan Marcus for Pomona. How about that, huh? Set it up at the 42-yard line after that nice game. A 34-yard run by Marcus.
Well, that's that athleticism we talked about. You see it in both quarterbacks, but Marcus, the third leading rusher on his team behind Borghi and Robeson.
Marcus going to keep this one. Looking to go up top, get it all back with one shot. Got a man there, caught. And down at the 23-yard line, it's still getting loose again.
I swear I've said something about that kid once or twice tonight, and I guarantee you that won't be the last time we say his name. And I tell you, Pomona right now, if that's the kid that's doing it for you, why stop? I would throw to him 3 more times on this drive if you have to. But if that's the kid that's getting it done, you have got to get points on this drive if you want to stay alive in this game.
35 yards on the pass this time. 2 big gains on passes to Pospisil, and they'll throw it out here with a quick receiver screen, but it is read and knocked down quickly by Jaden Watson.
Well, apparently I wasn't the only one that was thinking that Pospisil was probably going to get the ball again. It looked like Valor was onto that too, but I like the fact that they're trying to get their ball into the hands of players that are making plays. The one that's surprising me, and I don't know if Borghi's not 100%, but they have got to try and get him involved.
Well, they rode him a lot last year, that's for sure. They'll hand it off, and there is nowhere for Borghi to go that time.
Great play again by number 36 for Valor.
How about that? Right on cue, they give it to Borghi, and Polson blows him up.
It seems as though Valor Christian must have mics in this room because they're listening to everything that I'm saying right now. So I don't know if this is good for Pomona, but right now, I don't want to say you're in desperation mode, but you're down 3 scores with 3rd and long here.
Yeah, 3rd and 18. Marcus going to go up top and over the middle, nearly intercepted looking for Pospisil again. Lopez playing center field, nearly had a pick.
Wow, it looked like just kind of trying to force something there, and at this point, way too long to try and go for it now. You got to punt this ball away and hope that your defense can get a stop. But right now, what you want to do right now, you're saying to Max Borghi, hey, do exactly what you did last time, but hey, coverage team, keep your feet out of the end zone. They probably started that last drive on the 1 and made that a little bit more difficult for Valor. Instead, goes down for the touchdown.
3:26 to go, a timeout here. Let's tell you, American Furniture is your one-stop shop for everything for your home. Large in-stock selection of sofas to patio furniture, vintage to kitchen dinettes. It's all right here and at affordable everyday prices. American Furniture Warehouse, your lifestyle furniture store. All right, 4A scores for you. We gave you the Pine Creek update. Playing at home, 16-0 over Vista Ridge. Liberty and Air Academy at the half. That's at the half, by the way. Air Academy at the half with Liberty tied at 7. Big matchup going on down in the Springs down there. Sand Creek up on Pueblo Central, 13-0. That also at the half. One final, Pueblo West won on the road there at Shea Stadium. They beat Dakota Ridge 31-7. At the half, Widefield leading Palmer 21-0. Pueblo South got another win, 42-7. They beat Coronado. Mountain View over Niwot, 37-6 at halftime. Woo. Sorry to tell you that.
Woo. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Timeout now called by Valor here.
Looked like Pomona was going to try and go for it there on 4th and long. Valor came out not knowing what to expect and says, wait a second, we got to take a timeout. These guys are going for it.
Well, 2 left for Valor. Pomona has 1 timeout left. We'll take the break here. 17-0. Valor up on Pomona. It's the Denver Post Preps Game of the Week presented by AFW.
With the largest showrooms and best selection, today's American Furniture Warehouse has something for everyone. We carry hundreds of accent chairs, stools, and recliners at prices that you've come to expect from American. If you haven't been to one of our 14 locations in Colorado or Arizona, come in and take a look. Or shop online at AFW.com and we'll white glove deliver into your home and set it up for you. American Furniture Warehouse, the lowest prices anywhere.
Have you checked the latest?
Back to the net here out of the timeout. And indeed, Pomona will go for it here on 4th and 18. Marcus stepping up, got some real estate. He's going to throw it toward the end zone. Jump ball, and it's a touchdown. Pospisil took it away from Lopez. It's a touchdown. Oh, and it's not Pospisil.
It's the other guy.
It is Riley Govan who comes up big again.
That is the other meat at Thanksgiving, not just the turkey. Go back. That could completely change the momentum of this game if they're not able to pick that up on 4th down. And again, a great play by Marcus, showing off his best Stenstrom idea of being able to float inside the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and make a play. Huge play for the Pomona Panthers.
17-7, and it's a new ball game. Look at the play here. Throws across his body, across the field, and Govan took it away from Lopez.
Govan decided to come down with that one. Great play there. If you talk about desperation, I'll be honest, I was very surprised, Cory, that Coach Madden decided to take a chance on 4th and 18 as if he thought, maybe if we don't get some points on the board here, it could be a run and rough shot as far as Valor Christian is concerned. But to have the confidence in your senior quarterback to be able to make a play, move out of the pocket, look downfield, and again throw across his body back to the left, and just allowing your athletes to make plays if you're Pomona, in Borghi, in Pospisil, and now in Govan, allowing them to make plays for you has brought you that much closer back into this game.
Well, there's 3 guys that could potentially be our players of the game. Certainly on the Valor side, you've got Luke McCaffrey, you've got Stenstrom, who has played very, very well, and Caden Keefe as well. Our American Furniture Warehouse player of the game. We will name that at the end of the broadcast. And there's Mr. McCaffrey on that far side, taking it out to the 27-yard line. Thank you for over 40 fabulous years, 42 years to be exact, and making us your #1 furniture store. Visit AFW.com during the anniversary event.
A lot of guys so far in the running for that player of the game. Could be a lot of different players on both sides of the ball right now. But with 3 minutes left here, if you're Coach Madden, you have got to get a stop here. The last thing you can allow is a score from Valor after you just got that momentum back. You're back within 2 scores. You have got to be stout on defense for Pomona. If you're Valor, you got to run the ball.
Back to pass, Stenstrom, and he bounced it to McCaffrey there as good push by that defensive front for Pomona.
And in my head, and what do I know, that's probably why I'm up in the booth instead of being down on the field anymore. But for me, I'm running the ball here with a 10-point lead against the team on the road, both ranked, a lot of emotion. You want to maintain that lead before you go into halftime. The last thing you want is incompletion, stopping that clock and giving Marquez and that offense another chance to score before halftime.
Pistol set now. 2 receivers here on the right side, and Stenstrom's going to keep it himself. He is spun down at about the 29-yard line, and the tackle made by Robeson.
And this is a little bit of that I was talking about, but now after you stop the clock on first down, depending on how much time is left after this 3rd down play, if Pomona is able to stop them, don't be surprised to see Coach Madden possibly take a timeout. Now, he's only got 1 left, so he may want to hang on to it for the drive if they can get a stop here. But again, he may be trying to conserve that clock to try and get a score in before halftime. Doesn't even need a touchdown either. Could be a field goal. 3rd
down and 8. That's right. They've got a few in McGuire Mallory who can boot it. That's for sure. Back to pass, and Stenstrom. And that's going to be a penalty with the shot to the head. Kyle Moretti with the sack, but he ended up catching him on the headgear here, so I think the umpire threw that one.
Well, we're about a month away from Halloween, and it looked like somebody was going to be a candidate for the Headless Horseman. And Stenstrom there, boy, just avoids.
Well, they can't really get him for a clothesline there. Stenstrom pretty quick to get down, but he caught part of the face mask, so a 5-yard penalty.
And that's tough as a coach because you want your defensive players to play with their hair on fire, as we talked about earlier, and you want them to go in there and put fear into the heart of that quarterback, but you have to be able to stay low. It seemed like when you watch the replay, he was standing almost straight up when he attacked the quarterback, and that's a recipe for disaster, especially with the quarterback. Not all players considered, but especially the quarterback.
Under 2 to go here. That's Stenstrom, the quarterback, now looking here to the near side, and it's caught. That's Keefe. Keefe is down to the 37-yard line, and it's going to be close to a 1st down. Whitecap's got to come over and take a look at it.
It'll be interesting to see which way they go with this. They may call for a measurement, and that looks like exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they'll measure it out. 1:44 to go here. Yeah, there's Rod Sherman over on the other side. McCaffrey coming off, at least for the moment here. And Valor stepping away as the chain gang will make their way out here. Coming up at halftime, Kyle Newman, the Denver Post-Prep's editor, is going to come in and talk to Dee. And any questions you may have on Facebook Live, send them our way. I want to talk about as we head into, get a little farther here, deep in.
Well, and make sure that you do send those on Facebook Live and share it with your friends as well to get it out there and about. But if you do have some pressing questions, send me some good ones. I want to put Kyle's feet to the fire a little bit in here because, as you know, he makes the rankings. He decides a little bit of things in this state. So I'd love to press him with some questions. So please make sure you're hitting us up on Facebook Live.
Got what they needed. 37-yard line and half the length of a football. Stenstrom's back in there at quarterback, 1st down and 10. So for Pomona, they didn't call the timeout, but Valor able to get the 1st down so they could keep marching. See how aggressive they'll be. Stenstrom under center. Davis is behind him. He'll look to the sideline if he needs to change things up. Not going to happen. Play action. Looking to go up top. Nothing there. And Stenstrom throws. It's picked off here on the near side. Stenstrom was going down. And the interception by Kenny Mays.
Sometimes when you're dealing with great players, they want to do a little bit more than they should. They think they can make that throw when they can't. And I tell you what, it was pretty close to Stenstrom being down as he was throwing that ball, but just getting rid of it, thinking that his wide receiver was wide open. And number 24,
Kenny
Mays flying in there, making a play. That's a huge play for Pomona. This could possibly change the trajectory of this entire game. We talked about momentum. Again, Marcus and this Pomona offense has a shot here.
Got a minute 15 to do something about it. They set up the middle screen. Oh, he's got some room. Borghi down the near side, goes out of bounds at about the 22-yard line.
There, mama, there goes that man again. We finally talking about Max Borghi. He's getting involved into the offense now. Great job by Coach Madden and that offensive staff to try and get one of their best players involved in this game. And right now, Pomona's got Valor on the ropes.
14 yards on the pickup. By the way, Luke McCaffrey's the one that ran Borghi out of bounds. Borghi's on Marcus hip. They're going to give it back to Max Borghi. Borghi bounce to the outside, looking for some room. Still on his feet, crashes his way down near the goal line. Referee's got the hands up. He wants the football, but there is a flag way back here at the 23-yard line.
It looks like the left guard, I believe, gets a little bit of a handful of jersey there. And it that's kind of tough for Pomona because you got black gloves on a white jersey, and it's a heck of a lot easier to see if you're a referee, unfortunately, for Pomona. And that's exactly what we saw there. Huge run. Doesn't completely kill your momentum. You still got a minute here. You still got a timeout. So you can still attack the middle of the field. You got plenty of time. And again, in high school football, if you get a first down, the clock stops. So a lot of options here for Pomona still.
All right, 1st and 20. Marcus with Borghi on his hip again. Looking to pass over the middle now. Fired, caught, and immediately dropped at the 22-yard line as he found David Ross with his first catch, and boy, he paid for it.
And there's that last timeout for Coach Madden, it looks like. This actually may be smart. And what you're doing here, if you're Coach Madden, you're talking about 2 plays. Because you're probably going to run one over the middle of the field because you got plenty of time to get back up again. If you don't get a first down, you can't spike it. Because I believe you're at 2nd or 3rd down now. I believe that's 2nd down. So
yep.
You could spike it and do something on 4th down, even if it's just a field goal. But you still got a lot of options here, a lot of time. In high school football, 49 seconds is an eternity. So I would not be surprised to see Coach Madden putting in 2 plays right now. So if you don't get the first down on this one that they're going to be running right out of the huddle, out of the break here, you're going to have a second one that you can hurry up and line up right away to try and catch Valor off guard.
Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse. We'd like to say thank you. So come on in and help American Furniture Warehouse celebrate their anniversary. 42 years in business. 49 seconds left here before the half. A pick by Kenny Mays. Pomona in business, but 2nd and 10 coming up. Marcus looks, now he's going to go up over the top, a little high, and it is broken up. Well played by Thibault there as he was looking for Colin Muller over the middle.
Muller, it looked like he was the 3rd option. I actually watched Marcus go through every single one of his progressions. He looked at number 1, he looked at number 2, came backside to the backside post to Muller and not able to connect there, but at least, again, he's given his players an opportunity to make plays.
Get a little bit of yardage. You might be able to kick a field goal here on 3rd and 10. Marcus looking. He's going to go back up over the middle. It's picked off by Valor. Thibault got himself one there, and he'll return it to the 35-yard line. Turnabout fair play. Thibault will end the threat of the Panthers with the pick.
Went to the well one too many times. That one's going to hurt you. He had a guy open, and it looked like Muller again trying to go over the top and just didn't put enough air on it and allowed that defender to sneak in on the inside and pick that ball off. Huge change of momentum again. It seems as if every time Pomona gets back into that spot in the red zone or in a scoring chance, that's twice now that turnovers, well, and I guess if you want to add the bad snap as a turnover, I suppose you could, but 2 turnovers now essentially have cost Pomona.
From their own 35-yard line, Stenstrom is on the run here, and he's going to try to get as much yardage as he can. Steps out at the 42. Clock will stop with 24 seconds left.
And again, that athleticism. And if you're Valor, I mean, you're about 25 to 30 yards away from maybe taking a shot at a field goal here. It'd be a long one. But if you're Valor at this point, the most important thing, keep the ball away from Pomona. Number 2, you want to try and run this clock out and keep that 10-point lead going to halftime. And then if you can try and get into field goal range, maybe take a shot here.
Yeah, Blake Stenstrom got new life thanks to Tebow picking one off. With 24 seconds left, you don't want to be too crazy, that's for sure. Back to pass, got a lot of time. And now as he goes down, throws it to the sideline again, and that will be grounding because, well, the closest guy to it was Ben Anderson, but he was by the hash mark.
Okay, if I'm Coach Sherman, it's time to have a conversation with my young quarterback. Blake, I love you, but if you're going down to the ground again and you try and throw that ball, we're going to have some problems.
So they lose yardage and the down here.
And with 18 seconds left here in Pomona with no timeouts, if you're Coach Sherman, run the ball, take a knee, whatever you decide to choose there, and go to halftime, I think is the best solution at this point. A little squirreliness going around, a little uncertainty between the teams, a lot of turnovers right now, a lot of flux. Right now, if you're Coach Sherman, you take this lead and go to halftime.
That squirreliness is why coaches have gray hairs prematurely.
I've got a few, and I only coached for about a half a decade.
Well, so here we go. Yep, they're going into the victory formation, and will kneel down here. And Valor will take a 17-7 lead into halftime here. Number 1 team in the state got the lead for now. It's the biggest game of the night, of the weekend here in Class 5A football. Halftime, Kyle Newman will come in to talk with us. We'll take your comments on Facebook Live and make sure you share it as well. This is the Denver Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
What's up with the Broncos quarterback situation? Did you see that triple-double Nikola Jokic put up? And how about that walk-off home run at Coors Field last night? I'm Alexis Perry, and I've got all of those stories and more right here with the Denver Post Sports Minute. Stay up to date with the Broncos, Rockies, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rapids, and even college sports. You're busy, we get it. That's why the quick-hitting Denver Post Sports Minute is so easy to find. Just go to denverpost.com/video or like us on Facebook to have the Sports Minute on your newsfeed each and every day. Wherever you are, whenever you want it, watch the Denver Post Sports Minute 24/7 at denverpost.com.
Got an idea you think would make a great story in the Denver Post? Submit it at denverpost.com/news tips.
With the largest showrooms and best selection, today's American Furniture Warehouse has something for everyone. We carry hundreds of accent chairs, stools, and recliners at prices that you've come to expect from American. If you haven't been to one of our 14 locations in Colorado or Arizona, come in and take a look. Or shop online at afw.com and we'll white glove deliver into your home and set it up for you. American Furniture Warehouse, the lowest prices anywhere, anytime.
Got an idea you think would make a great story in the Denver Post? Submit it at denverpost.com/news tips.
Hey folks, I'm Kyle Newman with Post Preps TV, your weekly roundup on all things preps. Join me every week for all the latest news and analysis on Colorado high school football, basketball, wrestling, soccer, lacrosse, baseball, volleyball, softball, and many, many more sports. This is a huge top 10 game between these two teams. First, Dillon paces Evergreen with 13.7 points per game.
Yes, sir, this win means so much. I know we've been battling all these past 2 weeks in practice.
And that was an amazing moment for me to see him go from good quarterback to really elite Colorado high school quarterback. Hunter Willits and Grant Willits boast 5 state titles between them. Go to denverpost.com/preps for game highlights, a live stream of our game of the week on Post Preps Radio, and our weekly Post Preps podcast. your sports wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7 at denverpost.com/DPTV.
And we are back here at the NAC. An explosive first half. Valor Christian Eagles up on the Pomona Panthers, 17-7. And as every week, we have Kyle Newman, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Post Preps himself, in here in the booth with me. And if you have not gotten a chance, a great article from him previewing this game, as he does every single week of the Post Preps TV Game of the Week. So after reading your article, as you started out your article, you're talking about the differences between these two teams as far as where they're located, private school versus public, you know, the perception of Valor, the perception of Pomona as the blue collar versus the private school, and it's setting up to be one of the best rivalries in the state, is it not, Kyle?
I think so. I mean, and I talked about it in the article, despite the geographic distance, 45-minute drive between these two schools, despite the fact they've never been conference rivals, and despite the fact I think there's a marked difference, you know, in these two schools. You go inside Pomona, smaller 5A school that's still hanging with the big dogs in football, and then you go to Valor, which their enrollment is extremely tiny for a 5A school, and obviously they're getting it done, you know, being to the title game, 7 of the last 8 years. So it's awesome to see these two teams, and I think tonight we're seeing, okay, well, it looks like Valor is going to run away with it. Nope, Pomona comes right back, and all of a sudden we got ourselves a 10-point game, but a game nonetheless at halftime.
Well, and the one good thing you have about these two teams is they're both battle-tested. Obviously, 4 meetings over the last 2 seasons, 2 regular season going to Pomona, 2 postseason going to Valor. If you're the Pomona Panthers, do you have to change your mindset when you play this team, or do you view this as another game? Because the one thing that you see that's constant, good coaching on both sidelines. Coach Sherman with Valor, and then obviously Coach Madden with Pomona. So if you were going into this game as a coach, do you change your tactics, or do you stay true to who you are and try and win that way?
Yeah, you know, I don't think you're changing anything for either of these programs, and both coaches basically said as much to me before this game, and you know, they know that this is a big game, but it probably won't be the biggest game they play this year if all goes according to plan for both these programs. But you know, Coach Madden is going to have his team coming out prepared, well coached. We're seeing defensive struggle here early, then some turnovers potentially shift it. But you're talking about on the broadcast, I think that bad snap over the head, that was a bigger momentum shift than even just Josiah Davis's 80-yard run, because Pomona was knocking on the door, about to really get back in the game there.
There's no doubt about it. But you see a Pomona team scrappy. You've got some seniors like in the quarterback in Marcus. You have some experience on this team. Some of these players have been to 2 state title games just like Valor has. So you expect them to come out fighting. After what you've seen in the first half, do you expect more of the same in the second half, or do you see maybe one team taking the edge in the second half?
You know, I think Pomona is going to come out and kind of put the ball in Ryan Marquez's hands, and say, hey, win it for us. And they've often done that over the past couple years. He's got a number of weapons, not just Pospisil, as we've seen tonight. He's gotten a lot of the hype over the past year and a half, but he's got more than that, and they got to get Max involved more, obviously. Tough to do, though, against the Valor Christian defense that is so stacked. And I was talking about it with Coach Madden. He said that the hardest thing about Valor is there's no weakness. You know, all 22 players out in the field can make a play, and we're seeing that tonight with it's just not just the Luke McCaffrey show over at Valor, even though he's their headliner, obviously.
Now, one thing that we've seen from Pomona the last 2 seasons in the regular season, the fact that they've been able to beat Valor, the previous 3 or 4 seasons before that, Valor was almost mythical.
Right.
That team that just, you know, they weren't even human. In the last 2 seasons, Pomona has shown the state of Colorado, you can be a public school and compete with a school like Valor. In the event that Valor is able to hang on and win, does that change the perspective of the other 5A teams in Colorado football?
You know, I don't think so. I said in the pregame show earlier today that I think these first 3 weeks have shown that it's Valor and Pomona up in that top echelon again, and then everyone else. You know, a second tier of Regis, Creek, maybe Eagle Crest up in there. But these 2 teams, I mean, they are really on a collision course, I think, to meet again in the championship. That's not to say that there's not room for improvement for both squads. I'm sure Coach Madden and Coach Sherman are making some adjustments in there. I mean, Coach Sherman is like the Mad Hatter. I stopped by Valor Christian the other day, and he was in his office, like on his whiteboard, you know, moving things around, and just he had that gleam in his eye. And AD says he's in there all the time, you know, doing that. So.
Well, and that's what you want to see. And that's one thing that you can definitely see translates to the players. A lot of passion, a lot of emotion. Teams that want to do anything that they can to propel their team to success. So now, a quick preview, if you will, going to next week. It looks like we'll have Broomfield and Monarch. What do you expect out of that game next week?
Well, it's a rivalry game, and those are 2 teams that really like to ground and pound. Broomfield played a very tough schedule so far. Monarch, they're off to a great start. First, I think, 3-0 start in like 8 or 9 years. So great start for both of those teams, and 2 quality 4A programs I expect to see, you know, in the state championship conversation come November. Obviously, Broomfield right there knocking on the door last year. Blair Hubbard, he's got that experience having won titles at Faith Christian. So we'll have them there. And then I think really Monarch, like I said, they're almost a sleeper in Class 4A.
Which is crazy to say after the success they've had.
Right. And it's just how things ebb and flow, right?
Correct.
Now, will Valor Christian ebb anytime soon? It's not looking like it, you know?
It hasn't so far.
Yeah, in 4A, definitely it fluctuates more. But, of course, if we're talking 4A, I do think it's Pine Creek's season championship to lose. You know, defending state champ, one of the best players in the state, and the best sophomore player in the state, in my opinion, and David Moore, the 3rd running back. So theirs to lose. But yeah, Monarch Broomfield going to be great next week, and we'll be doing our game day show out there on Thursday during the day.
All right, state of Colorado, you heard it here first. Real quick, 2 things before we get out of here. Kyle, give us a prediction on the rest of this game, and then let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
Well, I said at the game day show that I was picking Pomona by 3 points.
Ooh.
And,
are you hanging with it?
I think I'm going to hang with it.
Okay,
you know, I think, and it's going to take one of those comebacks maybe that we saw Valor have in the championship game 2 years ago, when they were dead in the water. And then who was it? Dylan McCaffrey that revived them. And it's going to have to be Ryan Marcus tonight for Pomona in order for me not to go to 2-3 on the year of my predictions. I don't want to be in the red, you know?
Got to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And how everybody can get a hold of you.
At Kyle Newman DP. And if you really want to email your grievances to me, knewman@denverpost.com. But most of the kids these days, they want to put me on blast, they at me.
You go.
Yeah.
At Kyle Newman, the one and only Mr. Post Preps himself. Kyle, as always, thank you for joining us. And we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with second half action between Valor Christian Eagles and Pomona Panthers. Valor up 17-7. We will be right back with the Post Preps TV Game of the Week.
We're at the NAC, and coming out of halftime, getting ready for that second half. Number 1, Valor, 17-7 lead over number 2, Pomona. First half highlights here we'll try to get to, but I'm about ready for the kickoff here. Let's see if we can take a look at those highlights here when we get our next break in the action. Valor to kick away to Pomona. And a kick to the side. Well-placed ball. It'll go over the goal line, and it'll be first down at 10 for Pomona. Cory Lopez, D. White here. The Denver Post Preps game of the week presented by American Furniture Warehouse. Pomona gets the ball first here. Got to make a drive.
Two things that come to mind when I think about this first half: fireworks and mistakes. We've seen both from both teams. It just seems as though Pomona's made a couple more than Valor has, and Valor has been able to kind of control the clock, especially in that second quarter, except for the one turnover for Stenstrom trying to make a play. Really, Pomona's kind of been behind the 8 ball, so it's time for them to take the bull by the horns in the second half.
Ryan Marcus, the quarterback, and we're going to see probably a lot more of this. Max Borghi getting some extra carries here and there. Remember last year, Pomona rode Borghi for as long as they possibly could until he got hurt. He was injured going into the state championship game. Injured toward the end of the season. They just got him back. Wasn't 100%, but if you got a horse like that, you got to ride him.
Between him and Moretti being gone last year, that really hurt Pomona's chances, but they have to get him involved if they want a chance.
Look at there. They found a man wide open there, and that's David Ross, who's getting in on the action here. A first down for Big Black.
Now, a great play right now for this Pomona offense to kind of set the tone here in the second half. A little bit of confusion here setting up, but you see the up-tempo, and I would expect more and more of that from Pomona going forward.
18 yards this time, and keeping it is Marcus. He's going to get caught from behind and finally spun down here, and catching up to it from behind, Peyton Polson. Polson just able to get a hold of the jersey.
Now, and we would call that a pull-in play. You're right in the mesh with your running back, giving the illusion of a read option, but then having a wide receiver out to the top side up there that he could have thrown the ball to as well. So look for that going forward.
Marcus, throw it out there. Ooh, tipped in the air. Borghi will come away with it. He's going to lose a yard out of it, but dangerous play there on the tackle. Trevor Silgad.
Did you feel that when that happened, when that ball went up in the air?
Yeah.
Did you feel all of the air on the Pomona sidelines kind of leave for a quick second? A little quiet over here, but again, lucking out. 3rd and 7 here, 3rd and 8, somewhere in there. Yeah. Big play for Pomona. You got it. Most important drives of games usually is the first drive after halftime.
Marcus has trips in the bottom part of the screen here. Back to pass. He's looking to the right instead, and he got it in there. Caught at the 47-yard line, and again, it is David Ross, the junior, coming down with it.
David Ross is becoming one of the go-to guys, and if you're Pomona, that's actually smart because you're going to probably get an extra guy on Pospisil. You're going to get an extra guy on Govan. You want to go with the guy that's going to be in single coverage, and so far it's been Ross.
Give him 10 there. Borghi is hit and driven backwards by Matthew Tebow.
A lot of pain being divvied out by this Valor Christian secondary. They love to hit. I love to see secondary players that don't always pull the Deion Sanders. Now, don't get me wrong. Deion was the most incredible corner you've probably ever seen covering. Tackling, not so much. I love corners and safeties that like to come up and say hello to you.
Yeah, well, Primetime wasn't stepping up in the box, was he? That's for sure. Second down, we'll call it 10 here. Marcus escapes one. He's not going to escape them all, though. Big 71. Preston Rose in on the tackle.
Now, there's a great combination going on right now with the Valor defense. What they're doing is they're basically looking for a coverage sack, meaning that the secondary is playing well enough in coverage that Marcus really has nowhere to go, but it seems as though he's hanging on to the ball too long and allowing Valor defenders to get there. 3rd
and 13, Marcus setting up the middle screen. It's caught out there, and there's Borghi, and he's going to be caught from behind as he makes the cut. Matthew Tebow will bring him down at about the 44-yard line. He'll be short of that first down.
Now, something we didn't see in the first half, Coach Madden going right away to the punt game. You're almost in that no man's land where he took a shot on 4th and 18 earlier in this first half. But now, no hesitation whatsoever, trying to pin Valor deep if they can.
Borgie will be the punter here again, so you never know what's going to happen. Hope he's going to hurry, get this one away. A low punt and a bounding ball, and diving on top of it there is Pomona, but it actually took a Valor bounce.
That was a net punt of 8 yards. That one's going to hurt you in the field position game. Now, if you're Valor, you have got to take advantage of this field position early in the second half. If Valor can get a score here, that might put Pomona on the ropes a little bit. Pomona's defense has got to come up with a stop.
Put it at the 38-yard line here. A timeout. Give us a chance to take a look at those first half highlights if we can. And I'll tell you what, got this from our friend Marty Cesario, who is here for Xfinity, and this is what it looked like here is Stenstrom, the pick, as Mays comes down with it, but then turnabout fair play as Marcus goes up over the middle. It's picked off by T-Bolt. There were 5 plays of 30-plus yards altogether here. And here's the nice pass to the back of the end zone to Keefe. And how about the big play, huh? There's Josiah Davis. Breaks a tackle in the backfield, and it's off to the races.
Yeah, we talked about those feet, and it's very evident right there. You can see in the replay. Quick feet. This is the reason why this junior is being recruited by Colorado and a couple other schools. You love to see that burst. But then Pomona trying to make some plays on 4th and 18. Coming away with Govan catching the touchdown there on the replay. Great play by them to try and make this game competitive, because I tell you what, if Valor gets a stop there and this is a 17-0 game going at halftime, might be even a little bit more different mentality. But right now, at the end of the day, if you're Pomona, you're down 2 scores and you have plenty of time left in this game. So no panicking, stick to your game plan and try and make some plays with your athletes.
Valor's turn, first possession here of the second half after the net 8-yard punt here. It is Stenstrom, the quarterback. Little play action, rolls to his left. It is knocked down. Well played that time by Tanner Kimanow. Well, what do they teach you? If you see the screen starting to get set up like that, don't sit in no man's land, do something, and he ran right at Stenstrom.
You got 2 options when you realize it's a screen, retreat or press. Either you're going to press that quarterback and force him to throw that ball before he wants to, or you're going to try and retract or back up into that passing lane to see if you can break up that screen. And that time he decided to press instead of drop.
2nd down and 10. Stenstrom standing back there in the shotgun now, looks, pumps over the middle, and the big tight end, Ben Anderson, cannot hold on to it as he tried to turn and run first.
Sometimes as a tight end, and having played tight end myself sometimes, when you're in the middle of the field, you're always expecting to get hit, and you're thinking about your next move before the ball gets there, and sometimes that can get you into trouble. Anderson, a sure-handed player, not known for dropping balls like that, kind of got caught off guard and was looking at the safety or the linebacker that was coming his direction and just didn't secure the ball before he took off running.
Leading receiver out there. He's the guy who's made the most catches, certainly. Luke McCaffrey comes in motion, will sit in the slot here on the right side. Stenstrom's looking to the left, though. Got room over the middle, and it is McCaffrey with the catch. Pulled down at the 46-yard line. The tackle made by Mateo Crespin.
Okay, you've run the ball, you've caught the ball, you've thrown the ball. It's amazing how dynamic these McCaffreys have been, and especially the few that have played for Valor. They've been lucky to have these type of players year after year.
16 yards. Let's give it on the end around here and looking for some room. Look out, off to the races and breaking tackles to the 25-yard line and breaking ankles out there as well. And he just tripped up at the 11-yard line. Watson, nifty moves out there to get to the 12.
All right, Corey, we need to look and Google something right now to find out where the closest dry cleaner is, because there's clothes from the Pomona defense all over the field right here, unfortunately. The moves that were made, the shifty, the in and out, the start and stop, the Just one little, and that's I don't even know if he made that sound effect, but anytime I see something, whoop, whoop, almost some Chris Berman type moves there, making guys miss and getting up the field. Great play there.
34 yards on the end around and into the red zone. Go the Eagles now. First down and 10 from the 12 of Pomona. Stenstrom's going to take it up the middle himself, lowers the head, and will take it down to about the 6-yard line. Got about 6 out of it that time, running into the heart of that Pomona defense. Javier Crispin, one of the guys in on the tackle, along with Moretti.
And I guess I've always done it every single week. I've come up with a nickname. I'm going to call that Blake Smooth Stenstrom. The fact that he just picked up 5 yards and it looked like he took 2 steps very, very slowly. The guy is moving way faster than the way he looks on TV. So to see him live right now, the way that he kind of shimmies and it's just smooth and calm and collected, you like to see that from your quarterback.
Here comes the I set with Davis dotting that I, and it's McCaffrey at quarterback. Davis has got it, waits for the blocks to go, leans forward, driving, and extends the ball over the goal line. Touchdown, Valor Christian.
Okay, I've got a nickname for him too. I'm going to call him Baby Le'Veon Bell.
Ooh.
Did you see the patience, the waiting for his blocks to set up? As soon as the gap, it's acceleration right through that hole and finding the power to drive 2 or 3 defenders into the end zone. As you can see there, arm extended, but Baby Le'Veon Bell Davis driving in for the Valor Christian Eagles.
The extra point is up and good. It's 24-7 here. And that's where we sit with 6:16 to go in the third quarter. Valor up on Pomona, the battle of 1 and 2, our post-preps game of the week, presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
Part of the next Post-Preps TV broadcast, pull out those phones. If you've got video of an amazing high school sports highlight, we want to see it. Send it to us so you could be featured in the social spotlight segment of Post-Preps TV. Tweet it to us at Post-Preps or at Kyle Newman DP, or send us a message on our Facebook page. Your clip might make the cut and be featured on the next episode of Post Preps TV. Colorado's news, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7, denverpost.com/DPTV.
Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps.
Post-preps game of the week here from the NAC. I'm Cory Lopez, Steve White alongside, and a 24-7 lead. Number 1 Valor over number 2 Pomona. 7-yard touchdown run by Josiah Davis. 6 plays, 62 yards, 2 minutes, 5 seconds off the clock. He's one of the guys that could be our American Furniture Warehouse player of the game. I want to thank you for 40 fabulous years. It's actually 42 years to be exact, of making us your number 1 furniture store. Visit AFW.com during our anniversary event. Well, Pomona, nice drive to start the half, but it ended in a punt once they got to Valor's 44-yard line. An 8-yard punt, and Valor turned that thing around in 6 plays for 7.
If you're Coach Madden right now, the biggest thing is you have to learn how to finish. They've been into the red zone of the Valor Christian Eagles at least 2 or 3 times in this game and just not have been able to come up with something. As we see Robeson deep, the only reason why is because he's got those gold cleats and I can see him from here.
Take it on the far side over there instead, inside the 10-yard line, and that's Borghi making his way through as he picks his way through, and he's off for the races. Max Borghi, give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Touchdown, Pomona.
My goodness, what a run. He's got to be bottled up at the 25-yard line there somehow. Now, you've heard of the name Doug Martin, the running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you know his nickname?
No.
He's the muscle hamster. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to go there, Cory. Max Borghi, the muscle corgi. I did it.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, muscle corgi showing off those legs and the power in order to fight through all those tacklers and go the distance. Incredible.
I believe 93 yards. And the extra point is up and good. Well, 24-14. Valor's not going to run away and hide, not of Max Borghi. has anything to say about it here. Here's that return again.
Unreal. And this is what Washington State was looking at when they recruited him. These are the plays that you're looking for. And I still don't believe he's 100% fully. He's been banged up since the start of the year. So the fact that he's doing this against arguably the best team in the state and making a play like that, that's what you rely on when you have massive players like that. Those are the plays that you have to have against a team like Valor Christian. And to be down and to gut it up, to find the strength within yourself, to be the one that puts the team on your back, to make a play to get back into this game. This is a game now, ladies and gentlemen. With 6 minutes left here in the third quarter, this is now a game, and now it's on Valor to respond.
It'll be McGuire, Mallory to cut it off here. Both kickers have been doing a pretty good job of trying to send it into the end zone here. Let's see if this one makes it. It does not. It just does. Oh, Josiah Davis. He was ready to go.
That one, just the tip of his toe back there in the end zone. And of course, in high school football, if it touches anything part of that end zone, it is dead, and we're coming out to the 20. But Davis, I think, wanted to return and respond in kind to Max Borghi's return there and maybe try and create some electricity himself, but we'll have to see him do it in the conventional way with 4 downs.
Hey, I want to say hi to Tim Jenkins, who's watching and actually tweeted at Kyle Newman. We appreciate the thoughts. Glad you're watching us on the digital platform and Facebook Live. Share it with your friends, will you, Tim? We appreciate it. Up the middle they go with it. And it will be, I believe, Easton Cecil. Yep, it is indeed. The senior with the carry. He's the fullback along with Jack Armstrong. They're switching places.
So it'll be interesting to see now, does Valor change their mindset? And you hate to say that about a Coach Sherman team, a team that's been in, 7, 8 state championships, whether it's been at 5A, 4A, or 3A. But you almost wonder if, I don't want to say panic, but maybe you start to run the ball to try and run that clock and try and kill some of this momentum of the Pomona Panthers.
Nice run, almost 8 yards there that time, and they are going to go back to the ground. Davis looked like he was in trouble, now bounces to the outside, got that first down out across the 30-yard line. In on the tackle. Crispin come out from his linebacker spot.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm going to say Davis lifts weights just a little bit to break that tackle and then to show off the speed. Run the corner and create for the first down. That's exactly what you want to see from your stud players right now. And if you're Coach Sherman, if you can run the ball and not be stopped, there's no reason to put it in the air because there's only 3 things that can happen, and 2 of them are bad.
Yeah, you got 4 yards out of nothing, that's for sure. Davis wrapping his way back around. The single setback there. Little pump once. Stenstrom got his man deep. He's behind everybody, makes the catch. That's Luke McCaffrey. No, that's Thiebolt. And he's pulled back at the 10-yard line, and Mateo Crespin with the touchdown-saving tackle.
As I just talked about Coach Sherman being conservative here, with the double move on the far side of the field there, a great route from Thiebolt, and just the patience that Stenstrom shows to make sure that he collects his feet, gets into the right position, and fires a strike down to Thiebolt down the left sideline. Great play by the Valor offense.
58 yards on that pass there. Stenstrom handed off Davis. Davis trying to pick his way through. Not a lot, got a couple out of it. Well read that time. Big 77 Michael Marcus got him.
I don't know if you noticed that, but that was the Statue of Liberty. They ran McCaffrey in motion out to the sidelines trying to get Pomona's defense to key on McCaffrey, and then the little subtle behind-the-back handoff to Davis. They were hoping to catch him as Boise State caught Oklahoma, I believe, in the 2007 Fiesta Bowl.
Nice recall. Indeed, you are correct. 3:41 to go here, third quarter. Valor trying to answer after the Borghi kickoff return for a touchdown. On the run, Stenstrom wide open. Oh, and he couldn't make the catch. It ended up hitting him in the hands a little behind Hunter Carlson that time, but there wasn't anybody within 20 yards.
Oh, Mr. Carlson, I think Mama's giving you a smaller portion at dinner tomorrow night. That one wide open. Got to bring that in. A break for Pomona, though. Now a third down for Valor could force them into a field goal, and you're still keeping it a two-possession game. So a huge drop for the Valor offense, but a huge opportunity for the Pomona defense.
3rd and goal here. I think Jay Madden's going to call a timeout, though. Yep. Big Black's going to call a timeout. Did not like what they saw offensively, and they did not have the guys in there that they wanted. We remind you, this is the Post Preps Game of the Week. It is presented by American Furniture Warehouse. American Furniture Warehouse celebrating another anniversary. Over the years, our business has grown from a single small store to 14 locations in 2 states. With national recognition, we have you to thank for that. Check them out, afw.com, or one of their 14 locations. All right, scores in Class 5A, getting down to the end, and a lot of them. Fossil Ridge earlier, losing at home to Bear Creek 36-23. Here's the big one going on. 3rd quarter, Cherry Creek up on Grandview 34-20. That in the 3rd quarter. Mountain Vista beat Arapahoe there at Littleton Public School Stadium 24-21. Overland with a nice win over Rangeview 42-20. And Eagle Crest still rolling 21-7 in the 3rd quarter. They're up over Cherry Creek right now.
Man, big score there with Cherry Creek and Grandview. Big score.
Oh, and Chatfield up on Columbine 21-14. That in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
Back to pass, Stenstrom 3rd and goal. Now he's going to run. Got some room into the end zone. Touchdown. There is a flag on the field, though.
Looks like that's coming back. We had a hold on the interior of that offensive line, which is why Stenstrom had that lane to run through. And on that play that was dropped in the end zone for Valor, I got a chance to look at the replay finally. Safety gets suckered into the backfield looking at the running back and does not see that cross the middle of the field. But back to this play, just a little bit of a hold on the inside. It could have been a little ticky-tack, but the refs, there's holding on every play, whether the refs are going to call it or not. They just happen to call it on that one. But a huge play again for Pomona. That's 2 breaks now on this drive that have kept Valor out of the end zone. A drop pass, and now the holding call, and a 3rd and forever now to get into the end zone.
It backs them up outside of the red zone, actually. They're at the 21-yard line. Rolling, still rolling. McCaffrey steps, fires to the back of the end zone, and it is knocked away. And there is a flag down at the 19-yard line. Now we're going to see what that's all about. 2 flags at the 19.
It looks like you may have separate calls here. I believe there was a holding for sure in the middle of the field.
Hash marks, yeah.
Correct, but the one on the outside, I don't know if they're going to call that a late hit, because it looked like McCaffrey got hit as he was going out of bounds. But definitely a little bit of confusion here between the refs. Let's find out what they decided.
Well, let's see the play here at the end. Okay. Where McCaffrey launched that, it was right near the 20-yard line, and so he was a yard in front of actually at the 19-yard line, so a yard in front. So, well, 2 giant breaks for Pomona. The drop pass in the end zone, and then the holding call on the Stenstrom apparent touchdown.
Big kick here.
A 41-yard attempt. Brogan got the distance.
Got it.
Nailed it.
Big kick.
41 yards.
Valor squeaking that in with a great kick there, but it still remains a 2-possession game. So if you're Pomona, you're feeling charged up about this, especially defensively now. You got a couple of breaks, but in this game, when you win games, sometimes you get some luck. Sometimes you get some breaks to bounce your way. And for Pomona to get back into this game, those are the 2 things that they needed. If this is a touchdown instead of a field goal, we're talking about a 3-possession game, and that completely changes the landscape. But as far as Luke McCaffrey, I almost called him Christian. As far as Luke McCaffrey is concerned, sometimes when you bring a kid that's not playing quarterback the whole time, sometimes it's tough for that kid to think about those little things, like passing the line of scrimmage before you make that pass, because he's not doing it all the time, every time. I don't know if Stenstrom has that problem, but these are the type of things that, yes, you're throwing some teams off because of the things that you can do with McCaffrey and putting them in different spots. But sometimes when you have young kids trying to do a lot of different things, it's hard for them to focus on the little things.
Rogan, who kicked the 41-yard field goal, kicks it to the 5. It's Borghi again, and Borghi's got some room, tackled from behind at the 23-yard line, and Ethan Zamia had seen enough there. Caught Mr. Borghi from behind and brought him down.
I don't know if he was asleep during the first half or what they were doing offensively, but you see that explosion that we saw the last 2 seasons from Max Borghi, and the reason why the Cougars up there in the Palouse are a little bit happy right now with what they see in Max Borghi. This is that explosion in playmaking that they've been expecting to see all game long.
Pullman, Washington, beautiful.
Yeah, not in the wintertime. I've played there a couple of times.
I've been there in the wintertime a couple of times, that's yes, for sure. Out here and too high for everybody, looking for a Colton Mueller there, but Marcus had to get rid of it. There's Good Eats, and now I can't remember the place up there in Pullman, but they have lobster mac and cheese.
Oh.
With that golden,
don't do that, because I love lobster and I love mac and cheese. You put those two things together, I could pass out right now. Don't say that again.
I look forward to the trip up to Washington State each year with the CU women. It is good times. That's about all that's going on there. Hand it off here, and the spin into the arms of a lot of Valor players. That's Robeson. Short gain. It's going to bring up here a 3rd down and long. There is a player for Valor that is down. So the trainer's going to come out here. That's Trevor Zalagi that is down. We'll take a break here. This is the Post Preps Game of the Week. It's presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
American Furniture Warehouse is the largest furniture retailer in the country. And now you can order online at the new AFW.com. Shop the largest selection of living room, bedroom, and dining room collections, all right here at the lowest prices. We'll carefully pack and ship your new furniture directly to your home, where our own professionally trained drivers will set it up for you. We can deliver almost anywhere in the U.S. in our own fleet of trucks. Shop online with nationwide delivery at American.
Did you know the Denver Post has live audio broadcasts of high school sports games? Listen to the Game of the Week on Post Preps Radio. Go to denverpost.com/preps to find upcoming games or listen to archived coverage.
Want to be part of the next Post Preps TV broadcast? Pull out those phones. If you've got video of an amazing high school sports highlight, we want to see it. Send it to us so you could be featured in the social spotlight segment of Post Preps TV. Tweet it to us at Post Preps or at Kyle Newman DP, or send us a message on our Facebook page. Your clip might make the cut and be featured on the next episode of Post Preps TV. Colorado's news, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7, denverpost.com/DPTV.
Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps.
Post Preps Game of the Week here, presented by American Furniture Warehouse. That was Trevor Zalagi that was down. Walked off, getting a little bit of assistance there. It's good to see him up and walking off, though. See you pop that helmet off. You thought maybe it was worse. So, Pomona, here we go. Marcus over the middle. It is caught there, and look out, some room for Pospisil to run, and finally ushered out of bounds at about the 49-yard line there by Matthew Thibault. Just a little slant route, and Mr. Pospisil is back in the picture.
I'm going to start with him, Mr. Yak. Anytime that kid gets his hands on the ball, you have got to bring him down, and bring him down by gang tackling. One guy is not going to bring him down. Strong legs and strong running anytime he gets the ball in his hands.
23 yards there. Marcus going to keep it himself, fires it out there. It is caught in a quick little receiver screen to about the 49-yard line, and Pospisil again, Thibault on the tackle.
And I believe you were the one, Cory, with Marty Cesario, who called that game the first week of the year with Pomona and Mullen. And at one point, they went to Pospisil about 4 plays in a row. So they're not afraid to give him the ball if they think he's got an advantage.
Firing it here, over the middle again. Oh, ball popped in the air. Is that a fumble?
Is that picked off?
Referee there. Pospisil, I don't know if he had it.
Oh, boy.
It will be Valor.
Wow. Big turnover.
Well, let's watch here. Took a step. They're going to say it was a fumble. Well, and again, the ruling, was it a football move? Sure looked like it.
It looked like he took at least 1 to 2 good steps there before he got popped. And again, you know, we can always try and play referee, but sometimes this stuff happens so fast, it's so hard to tell. And with high school, you don't have the luxury of replay. So it's tough to make those judgment calls, split decision like that, but it did look like he turned upfield and made enough of a football action to warrant that being a fumble.
Second turnover of the game by Pomona here. An interception and then the fumble. And now Valor Christian will have the football at about their own 33-yard line. Let's check some scores here. Remind you, Post Preps Game of the Week is presented by American Furniture Warehouse. Thank you for over 40 fabulous years and making us your #1 furniture store. Everybody taking a knee here. Update you on some 5A scores if we can. Third quarter, 34-20 still. Cherry Creek with the lead on Grandview. And Mountain Vista beat Arapahoe 24-21. Another final. Overland over Rangeview 42-20 there at Aurora Public School Stadium. Fountain Fort Carson a winner at home. They beat Castleview 23-13 here tonight. Third quarter, Eagle Crest up on Cherokee Trail 21-7. Rocky Mountain over Pooter 21-7. That's a final up there at French Field as the Lobos get the win. Chatfield up on Columbine in the fourth quarter 21-14. And yes, indeedy, 21-14. Chatfield up on Columbine in the fourth. Good to see Pospisil come off under his own power here.
Big blow for Pomona. So not only do you lose the possession of the football, but you also lose, so far, the guy that has been the most dynamic player.
Well, they'll get a chance to rest up here a little bit as now Pomona, Big Black's defense is out there. Try to stop Pomona here. Stenstrom throws over the middle there. Finally going to find their big tight end, Ben Anderson. He's immediately taken down there by Jaden Padilla.
Well, and now if you're Valor Christian, it's all about running the clock now. You've got this lead, up 13 points, 2 scores now. It's all about running the clock, killing as much time as you possibly can, and forcing the issue that even if Pomona does get their hands back on the ball, if and when they do, they're going to have to press a little bit more than they would like to.
They're going to bring the sticks out for a measurement here. Well, we remind you next week we're headed to Monarch on Thursday. We will be there to see Monarch taking on Broomfield. Great matchup in Class 4A. Marty Cesario, D. White have the call on that one on a Thursday. Back it up. What a great matchup, though. 7 o'clock start, I believe, up there at Centaurus High School.
Should be a good game. 2 teams that are perennially year in and year out in the mix for the playoffs in 4A. Monarch, a state championship. Broomfield in the mix there as well. So, you know, over the past 5 to 10 years, I guess I would say, Cory, these 2 teams have really shown some dominance in that 4A class.
All right, it is a first down. They hand it off here, and the young man Watson, again, who had that big end-around run, takes it up to the 50-yard line, a gain of 7.
Okay, Valor just keeps them coming. Where did this kid come from? I watched just about every piece of film that they had this entire year, and you saw a little bit of burst from him in a couple of games, but tonight, I mean, becoming a dynamic weapon, another one, as if Valor needs more of them offensively, but a guy that's really showing some shiftiness, some quickness, and the ability to get in and out of cuts very quickly. A change of pace from Josiah, or Josiah Davis, who's more of a one-cut runner.
Yeah, I didn't even have Watson down on my spot chart here, knowing he played defense, but now on the offensive side. Stenstrom's going up top looking for T-Bold. It's a jump ball, and it is, and a late call. Boy, Riley Welch made a nice play on the ball, and the flag comes in from the back judge.
Boy, I don't know I don't know about that one. That was a tough call. It looks like the defender was in a good spot. They were both fighting for the ball. They may wave this off.
Offsetting penalties. Well, there we go. It worked out, I guess, for both teams. If you were questioning it, it's offsetting.
So even if they did not call the pass interference, that was going to go against Valor for the holding call. So either way, the penalty's offset, and we go back to second down now.
All right, second and about 4 here for Valor. Up under center is Stenstrom once again. And we'll hand it off. Davis working his way to that left side. Oh, he's got a big hole over there. Davis is gone again.
Josiah Davis. What else can you say? I mean, we've said it time after time after time. If you give this kid a crease, he is gone. As you see, great blocking on the outside there. A great block downfield by Mr. Cecil. That must be why he gets all those carries during the game, because he's willing to go downfield and sacrifice his body, and he's really the one that sprung the last guy for Davis to beat.
51 yards after an 80-yard run in the first half by Josiah Davis. 2 touchdown runs, and he's got 131 yards out of just those 2.
I think he may be in the mix for that player of the game, that American Furniture Warehouse player of the game. I would not be surprised if his name is in the mix. The problem is because there's been so many weapons for Valor offensively. I don't know that we can pinpoint just one guy, but Davis so far being the workhorse and the guy that is blowing this game open for the Valor Christian Eagles.
27 seconds left here before we head into the fourth quarter. Here's some scores in Class 4A now. Pine Creek, it's a final. They beat Vista Ridge, shut them out 26-0. Start of the fourth quarter now. Sand Creek up on Pueblo Centennial. It's a pretty good battle going there. 13-6 right now. Sand Creek with the lead. Pueblo West won earlier tonight, 31-7 over Dakota Ridge. Widefield over Palmer, 42-0. Pueblo South, 49-7 over Coronado. Ponderosa, big win, 49-17. I think we're going to have them later as one of our post-preps games of the week as well. And Robeson's got it, picking his way through, and across the 20 he goes to about the 22-yard line.
Well, so far for Pomona, it's been a night of mistakes. They've made some mistakes between the bad snap to the late interceptions that have been thrown by Marcus. They just haven't been able to finish drives. They've been great inside the 20s, but have not been able to finish drives in the red zone, and that has killed them and allowed Valor opportunity after opportunity. And with an offense that Valor has, you can't keep giving them those opportunities, because eventually they will capitalize, and they have so far.
Toward the end of the third quarter from their own 22, Marcus, little play action here on the option. Gonna go up top, got a man there, that's Ross. Caught it at the 40, and is still on his feet and will finish this one off. David Ross, 78 yards, and just like that, we were going to leave Big Black for dead. Not yet.
Just when you get ready to ride off, and the third quarter's not even done yet, Corey. You cannot count this Pomona team out, and again, we've talked about it. Seniors, experienced players, not panicking in times of adversity and finding a way, whether it was the 4th and 18 in the first half or now with the big score here, and even with some pass interference, it almost looked like coming through with the big score.
The extra point is up and good, makes it 34-21. It's a two-possession game again.
It's not over yet, and we've talked about this. Pomona has shown that they can do this. They just haven't done it consistently enough tonight in order to make this score a little bit closer. But as you just alluded to, I mean, we're talking about a 13-point game. This is not a game that's out of reach. We're not even in the fourth quarter yet. But the question becomes, Pomona's defense, you've been beaten up a little bit. You've given up some huge plays. Can you find a way to get a stop, and then can you respond if you're the Pomona offense? If you can do those two things, we may be talking about a one-score game and the pressure finally going back to Valor. But right now, if you're Valor, it's all about clock right now. You're not even playing the Pomona Panthers. You're playing yourselves and that clock that's up there on that big scoreboard with 9 seconds in the third quarter left on it. You want to try and run as much of that clock as you can on these next seemingly 2 drives that you'll probably end up with for sure. You want to kill as much clock as you possibly can. Pomona, 3 and out, get the ball back and take some more shots downtown.
All right, just 9 seconds left here in the quarter. And Mallory to kick this one off. Hang time on it, take it a little short. Bounds at the 16. And coming back the other way now. Just nowhere for McCaffrey to go that time. He was trying to switch fields, but is rudely pulled down by the jersey at the 19-yard line.
I like that, rudely, definitely. No regard for how he felt about the tackle there, bringing him down strongly. But again, the one thing that I keep alluding to, and you're seeing it play in and play out, is how well coached both of these teams are. Coach Sherman, Coach Madden, neither team has panicked. Both teams have settled in. But now, this is crunch time. If you're the Pomona Panthers, this is when you have to make a stop if you want to stay in this game. And if you're Valor, you got to continue to dominate up front and run as much clock as possible.
Putting it on Big Black. Stenstrom is the quarterback for Valor Christian. An offset eye behind him. And they're going to give it to Davis, who's going to look for some room, and he is submarined there very quickly by Jack Thiel, and that will end the third quarter. Boy, it has been a wild second and third quarter. 12 more minutes left in this one. The Post Preps Game of the Week, presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
American Furniture Warehouse is the largest furniture retailer in the country. And now you can order online at the new AFW.com. Shop the largest selection of living room, bedroom, and dining room collections, all right here at the lowest prices. We'll carefully pack and ship your new furniture directly to your home, where our own professionally trained drivers will set it up for you. We can deliver almost anywhere in the U.S. in our own fleet of trucks. Shop online with nationwide delivery at American Furniture Warehouse.
Got an idea you think would make a great story in the Denver Post? Submit it at denverpost.com/news tips.
Post Preps Game of the Week here, presented by American Furniture Warehouse. You can always find us Facebook Live. Make sure you share with your friends next week. Broomfield Monarchy Believed. We're halfway through the schedule now.
You know what? They always say time flies when you're having fun. It's been a great year calling games so far with you, Cory, and I look forward to the rest of this season. But every single one of these matchups, there isn't a bad game that they show on Post Preps TV. I mean, we're bringing you quality games week in and week out, and we're starting again next week with a short week, if you will, on next Thursday, Broomfield at Monarch. But again, Mullen and Columbine, huge one. And that actually happens to be on my birthday. Don't give me any presents yet, unless you really want to, and then whatever you were thinking about, just double that. Chaparral and Rock Canyon should be a very good one. Highlands Ranch and Legend towards the end of the year, and then, of course, that last trip to Heritage. So a great lineup still yet to come. Great games that we've had so far, and we have another good one going on right as we speak.
Ready to start the fourth quarter. Number 1, Valor with the lead, 34-21. But again, a couple of big strikes. A kickoff return by Max Borghi, and then Marcus finds David Ross on a 78-yard touchdown pass. That coming on the heels of Josiah Davis' 51-yard run for Valor, answering themselves after the second turnover by big black out there, but you know, Pomona's not going to go away, and there's still plenty of time left here in the game. The defense got to step up now.
Unless we see a 3rd and long situation, well, actually, I take the words right out of my mouth. We're in an empty backfield here. Not shying away from taking this game over and taking some shots is Coach Sherman.
Yeah, I think Valor knows that they're going to keep putting some points up on the board because Pomona's going to try to do the same thing. Tough throw.
My goodness.
By Stenstrom, and he finds his tight end, Ben Anderson, there. How about that?
Now, we may have the listeners, but I know Cory will understand. There was a gentleman that also wore 87 in the NFL, and arguably to me is one of the greatest tight ends ever played. Coates. A big guy that wore 87, a guy that can block, a guy that can catch. That's kind of what you see from Anderson, but a catch like that, that's not something you normally see from the tight end position. Sure hands there from the big guy.
I like that. I like to equate him with Daniel Graham, but that's just because he's a homeboy.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
TJ guy there, spinning into the line there. They'll hand it off to Davis, and he's found a little bit of room there in the middle of that defense. Up to make the tackle, Mateo Crispin is there.
Well, and if you're Valor right now, this can't be going any better. Run the clock, control the line of scrimmage, try to limit your mistakes. Don't take a bunch of chances. You've got way too many athletes. You've got Stenstrom back there who can run if he needs to. You've got Davis back there. You've got McCaffrey back there. And then you've also got number 3 who's just emerged this week in Watson. So let your players make plays.
A little play action to Watson that time that sets up the middle screen, and Davis has got the ball and the nifty moves to get to the 39-yard line there. Tackle is made by Tyler Arnold, but another big gain and another first down as he gets to the 41-yard line.
Well, there's that foot frequency we talked about. As you see on the replay, run the action away and then come back to Davis. Great move there and power, and then a good tackle there by 19 for Pomona. That's Jack Thiel, but enough to pick up that first down and keep this clock rolling.
From their own 41-yard line now, and Watson's got it, trying to get around to the outside. Is there an edge? Puts the foot in the ground and ahead to about the 49-yard line. And again, gains of 9 and 10 yards. Thiel is there once again, along with Mateo Crispin.
I guess his nickname is going to have to be Dyna. Short for dynamite. My goodness, every time that kid gets the ball, it's an explosion shot out of a cannon. The kid must have grew up in a circus.
Gain 10 there, like he was shot out of a cannon. I like that he put the foot in the ground. It didn't look like he was going to be extended and strung out to the side, and he found a hole and took it. Clock's rolling, 9:44 to go here. Second and short, not quite 10 yards, and a quick quarterback sneak by McCaffrey, and that'll move the chains there. A sneak of about 4 yards.
I was going to say, very rarely do you see a quarterback sneak for about 5 yards.
Yeah.
My goodness, but that's that athleticism that we talk about with Luke McCaffrey and his versatility, and the fact that we've seen him under center more this game than any other game that they've played so far. So I don't know if that was a tactic by Coach Sherman to kind of be the reserve role and kind of back off of that a little bit and then give Pomona a whole spoonful of McCaffrey from a lot of different spots, but under the center quite a bit tonight.
Another first down and 10 here. Stenstrom is under center now. We set the H-back, give it off to the big man in the backfield. That is Davis, and he is pulled down from behind as Kimanow was able to get to him.
I have to give somebody some props that has played a heck of a game tonight, and he may go a little bit unnoticed, but Cecil, 32, the fullback for Davis, every single time they broke a big run or a big play, it seems as though he's getting big blocks, and even on that 2-yard run, flattening an outside linebacker and putting him on his back, allowing for the 2-yard gain there. But a fullback position is a position in today's football that is forgotten quite a bit, but a great game from Cecil today.
2nd and 8. Davis has got it to get in a big hole. Up the middle he goes, and off his pins he goes to about the 33-yard line.
There's BLB Davis, baby, Le'Veon Bell. That patience, that waiting, that's something that you don't normally see from a young kid. Usually when they see a hole and they get that ball, it's all about explosion, and I want to get there and get there fast. Run to daylight is what coaches tell a lot of their young players. But the fact that you can wait just a half a second, and let everything kind of line up. It makes your path that much more easy.
10 yards there, another first down. Moretti on the tackle, by the way, for Big Black, but backs are bent and they're trying to bow him. Got to be a stop here for Pomona. In the meantime, Valor is churning out the yardage. Back to the ground, Davis looking for his spot. Not a lot there as he has stood up at about the 32-yard line.
Again, just that patience that you see, and I know that's something that the University of Colorado, who's recruiting him, as well as a couple other schools, but I talk about Colorado primarily because we are in the great state of Colorado, and that would be the type of talent out of the state of Colorado that you like to see home for a team like Colorado State, like Colorado. So it's nice to see some great high school players here in Colorado going to possibly college in Colorado and staying home.
Absolutely. And Stenstrom able to get it out to Davis, sidesteps one tackler, but a host of Big Black will come and finish off there. Padilla is one of the guys that is there.
Padilla, McGee, both making plays out there. The initial play there just to get them slowed down, and then the cavalry comes in to kind of clean them up. But great play defensively to be the first one. Johnny on the spot, forced the issue. And now, after all that success that Valor had, we kind of fell asleep as an audience, including us in the booth here. Now you're looking at 3rd and long. Pomona quietly putting up a defensive stop here that could change this game and get them the ball back right here. Huge play on 3rd and long.
10th play of the drive for the Eagles.
Timeout, Valor.
Rod Sherman didn't like what he saw. We'll take the break as well here. 6:18 to go. Valor has had the football for nearly half the quarter here, just trying to eat up some clock. It's a 34-21 lead, Valor over Pomona. The Denver Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse.
Want to be part of the next Post Preps TV broadcast? Pull out those phones. If you've got video of an amazing high school sports highlight, we want to see it. Send it to us so you could be featured in the social spotlight segment of Post Preps TV. Tweet it to us at Post Preps or at Kyle Newman DP, or send us a message on our Facebook page. Your clip might make the cut and be featured on the next episode of Post Preps TV. Colorado's news, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7, denverpost.com/DPTV.
Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps.
Yeah. Back we come here. North Area Athletic Complex. Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse. I'm Cory. Lopez, D. White here. Big possession for Valor. They've had the ball. This will be the 10th play of the drive. They've nearly burned off half the quarter already. And on a 3rd and 10, you pass it or run it?
I don't know. I mean, this is a tough situation because you've been able to run the clock. As you alluded to, you've taken basically half of the 4th quarter. But if you see now, this is a half wing T formation that we're seeing here with Davis on the outside. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in motion maybe. There he goes.
Yep, right on cue. That's McCaffrey. Nope, that's Stenstrom under center. Back to pass.
Got him in the seam.
Fires it, and it's incomplete. Looking over the middle. Oh, he had somebody right in the seam. T-Bolt, though, he went with the short check down. But
it looked like he had Davis creeping there in the seam. It looked like he could have taken a shot. But you know what, your Coach Sherman, that's fine with me. You want to try to limit the ability to make those mistakes. That could be a mistake because you still did have 2 guys creeping back there. But it looked like he did break open in that seam there, but that's still a tough shot. You have to get it over the linebacker and underneath the safety. That's probably the easier shot here. And the other smart play by Sherman now, instead of trying a long field goal and giving field position to Pomona, now pinning them deep and forcing them to go the length of the field.
Rugby style kick by Stenstrom. Coffin corner, caught.
Wow.
Oh, about down at the 1-yard line. And he did, Watson got down there and made the catch. When he slid, I thought maybe his foot caught the goal line. It did not. They pinned Big Black on the 1.
You know, Watson hasn't exactly had a ton of plays. But you're talking about just the impact he's made on the few plays that he's had. Almost every single time he's touched the ball, it's been a first down. every single time he makes a play, it seems to dictate the flow of the game. And as we saw in the end around earlier, a run off of a big high-speed motion here earlier in the fourth quarter, and now on special teams, making a play that pins Pomona down inside their own 2-yard line. That's a tough place to start if you're Pomona, but right now, this is setting up. Imagine this, Cory. Pomona takes this ball down and scores a touchdown from their 2-yard line to get within a touchdown to have some time left on this clock. Or Valor becomes stout, does what they're supposed to do defensively,
offense 5 minutes 58 seconds off the clock. So they didn't score, but they pinned them down at the 1.
But their job was to take time off the clock. As we talked about earlier, they were no longer playing Pomona. They were playing this clock, and it takes 6 minutes off the clock. And don't forget, that drive started with time left in the third quarter, too. So you had 9 seconds off the clock in the third quarter, as well as the time that you've taken off here in the fourth quarter. So that's a great drive by them, even though they did not come away with points.
Post Preps Game of the Week presented by American Furniture Warehouse. I'd like to say thank you. Come in, help us celebrate our anniversary. Marquez goes out here to the side, and it is caught there and a little bit of running room. Tripped up at about the 15-yard line. That is enough for a first down. Colt Muller, nifty moves, though, to get the shadow of the goalposts off their back.
And if you heard the collective groan from the sideline over here, is because he probably had one guy to beat and he might have been gone. You heard it from the crowd there.
Marcus give it off up the middle, and that's Borghi still on his feet. Great balance there. Another 10-yard gain up to the 25-yard line.
The muscle Corgi showing off those thighs and leg strength and the ability to fight for extra yards. And again, in high school football, clock stops after every first down. So sense of urgency, but not too crazy from Pomona right
Jackson Ortiz and Chase Lopez on the tackle there. 6-yard pickup there on the quick throw to Muller. Luke McCaffrey is on the coverage.
Wait, so he plays defense as well?
Sure, why not?
What else is he doing? Did he hand out refreshments at halftime too? He didn't run my nachos up here. I'm a little disappointed, but he's done just about everything else that you could ask this kid to do tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. 2nd and 5, Borghi's got it again. He's trying to pick his way through, trying to stay on his feet. Now he's got to just fall forward, only going to get 1 out of it. And a big 75 got him around that's Peyton Rose, who got him around the ankle, wouldn't let him go.
And now basically a positive play for Pomona, but also a negative because on the running play, it is still running the clock. As that clock continues to tick, that is Pomona's biggest opponent right now, not Valor Christian.
And you got a 3rd and 5, a short 5 coming up here. Marcus will step back into the pistol set. Trips up top. Marcus looking to that left side, fires over the middle, caught first down, and down to the 49-yard line. And again, it is Muller with the catch this time as he goes to the 49, gain of 18.
Some great blocking there from Pomona, allowing time for Marquez. He went through his first and second progression. That was actually the 3rd guy on the backside. It looks like there may be a penalty and it's coming back.
Ineligible receiver downfield, I believe. Boy, that's tough.
That's those big fellas getting a little excited and wanting to get down and help their teammates, but they have to temper themselves just a little bit so they don't get overexcited and cost their team a couple of yards here, and it looks like that's exactly what happened. But if you're Pomona, that's still okay. You still got plenty of time left. You just have to make sure that this counts.
All right, 3rd down and 10 now. Marcus looks to the sideline, and his offensive coordinator now backs up. Setting up the middle screen, and out in the open, look out. That is Borghi, and keeping his feet there, and a little extra by McCaffrey. They were kind of tripping over each other, trying to make their way over, and then he ends up pushing him kind of to the track. They were both trying to keep their feet here.
As you see here on the replay, great play by Borghi, gets out of bounds. And it looks like they're both kind of running out, and a little push there at the end maybe from McCaffrey, and I think that's what it might have incited the Pomona fans over here. But Nobody went to the ground. I don't think it was egregious. And if you're the referees, the last thing you want to talk about in a game is that the referees changed the game.
Yeah.
Stay out of it as long as everybody's safe and okay. Let's move on and continue to play some football.
It's a first down, gain of 14 now. Marcus, plenty of time to go, and that four-man rush going up top, in and out of the hands of the receiver, and a late flag will come in here. Kenny Mays, the senior, trying to make the catch. Chase Lopez on the coverage.
Could go offensive or defensive. It'll be interesting to see what the back judge calls here. It looks like it will be defensive, but it could have gone both ways.
Obviously, the reaction to the Pomona fans, they're on the side where we're calling the game. The Valor fans are on the other side, so they're happy about that.
And here we get to see the replay here. And just jostling on both sides, I think that would have been a better no call. But, you know, again, referees have to make those judgment calls. It happened split second. And he was in a good position to see exactly what happened there. So if he felt it was defensive pass interference, that's why you saw the flag on the ground. But a big break for Pomona, continuing to keep this drive alive.
2-possession game still. Big Black trying to get back into this one. Marcus looking with a fresh set of downs, and he is sacked by Preston Rose.
Preston Rose, and if this was the Bachelor, he would not be giving a rose to Marquez. I think he'd be going home at this point. Decided to plant him into the turf. A huge stop there, because not only does that make them lose yards, but it also continues to run the clock. Big, big, big play for the Valor defense.
Sack of 8 yards now, 2nd and 18. Marcus set with trips up top again. Throws here, and it's picked off. Jumping the route is Jaden Murray, the junior, coming up big for Valor.
Wow. They had run those underneath hitch routes time and time and time again, and this time Valor decided to sit on it, and Marcus threw right to him, probably didn't even see him, and sometimes in those short routes like that, it's all timing. He's not even necessarily looking directly in that direction. He's worried about more of his footwork, taking his steps, and then firing the ball, and it's up to the wide receiver to try and make a play on it. But a great defensive play there to sit on that route and come up with a play that could have essentially end this game for the Pomona Panthers.
3rd turnover by Pomona here tonight. 3:32 to go. Valor's going to have the football here. Let's take a look at what's coming up next here for either one of the teams that we have here. For Pomona, well, they will fall. This will be their first loss here of the season.
Big game.
Valor and Creek. Man, oh man.
Woo. That's good. It just doesn't end for the teams in this league, and you know, every week is another powerhouse and another big game and another big game. So this is going to be a huge game next week for Valor. It doesn't let up. And of course, with Valor and the success they've had, everybody's circling that game on their schedule.
Creek won tonight, so they'll be 3-1 going into next week. 40-20. They beat Grandview at Stutler Bowl.
Wow,
and
big win.
Pomona's on the road. They're taking on Rockhurst, Missouri.
Woo. Get ready for that humidity and a little bit of a different atmosphere down there. They still consider that part of the South. So as we saw a Valor Christian team do it 2 weeks ago going down to Georgia, maybe we'll see another Colorado team go and represent very well in the state of Missouri next week.
After that for Pomona, it's into conference play essentially. They've got Rock Canyon, Hinckley, Mountain Vista, Chaparral, and Cherokee Trail next on the schedule for Valor. After that matchup with Creek, they've got Legend, Lakewood, Highlands Ranch, Pooter, and then Fountain Fort Carson. So the tough part of the schedule, you know, with all due respect, the tough part of the schedule for both teams coming here. Pomona's going to go on the road and have to go play in Missouri against a quality opponent there, and then Creek coming up for Valor. But then after that, it's that Waterfall Conference standings, and it may get a little bit easier. So this is where you're really making your hay in the RPI standings.
Right. I think this was the last game for both teams. Not necessarily that they didn't circle any other games throughout the rest of the season, but obviously The two best teams have been the two best teams in the state over the past 2 years, now 3 years, as we believe these will be the two teams that will be making noise for sure in this year's 5A state playoffs.
Second down and 8. They ran the ball. Clock still rolling. Pomona's not using their timeouts. Back it goes to Davis, picking his way through it. It's going to be driven backward. They're just trying to see if they can knock the ball loose. MJ Allen on the tackle. Think about these teams matching up in the last 3 years. In 2014, Valor Christian actually won both matchups. They won in the regular season and then knocked Pomona out of the quarterfinals of the playoffs. But Valor lost the state championship in 2014 that year to Cherry Creek.
Yes, and the only time that they've lost in the postseason was that year to Cherry Creek, and that game was 25-24.
That was an awesome game to watch.
What a game.
No matter who you were rooting for on that one. Stenstrom's going to throw here on 3rd and long, and it is caught, and that is Caden Keefe, who got that first half touchdown there. Keefe with the catch and the first down. In 2015, the two teams matched up. Pomona won the regular season battle 28-14, but lost the state championship in 2015. Valor champions 29-26. That was a great matchup. But then
can you say deja vu? Because
Yeah.
did this not exactly happen in 2016?
It did. Pomona won the regular season battle last year 23-16, and then the state championship last year 30-14. And Valor Christian back-to-back 5A state championships again.
Well, and I asked Kyle Newman a question at halftime, and I want to pose it to you as well, Cory, because I know you know the landscape of Colorado high school football. But the last 2 years, Pomona beating Valor during the regular season kind of showed that Valor was still human, that a public school that wasn't, that hasn't collected players from a lot of different places, homegrown, blue collar, could beat a team like Valor. With Valor winning this matchup in the regular season this year, does Valor look unstoppable to the rest of 5A now?
Well, I still think it is fairly wide open. I mean, Creek just laid down a whooping on Grandview, which I didn't expect, 40-20. So the Bruins are getting better. So I think there's still 3 or 4 teams that could potentially do it. But Valor will be undefeated after tonight and getting wins on the road in Vegas over Faith Christian. They beat Mullen and then beat Greater Atlanta Christian. Those are big wins. And now another big win over a number 2 team in Pomona. They got to be the favorites.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. I just wondered, kind of, does that change things? Because the last 2 years, it's like, okay, Pomona can beat them. Maybe some of us can beat them as well. But as we wind down here, player of the game, I think you have to go Josiah Davis, number 7, for the Valor Christian Eagles. I mean, you're talking about a kid that's well over 150 yards on the night, 2 touchdowns on 2 humongous runs.
80 and 51 yards.
Seemingly not being able to be stopped tonight. A stallion for the Valor Christian Eagles. And tonight's American Furniture Warehouse player of the game.
American Furniture Warehouse, thank you. Celebrating over 40 fabulous years, 42 to be exact, and making us your #1 furniture store. Go to AFW.com during our anniversary event, or just stop by and see one of the 14 locations. Okay, the final 34-21, and number one Valor going to stay number 1 next week, according to the Denver Post, with the win over number 2 Pomona. Great plays. The offense started cranking up in that second quarter. Max Borghi, fun to watch. Ryan Marcus. And then for Valor Christian, Josiah Davis, Luke McCaffrey, Blake Stenstrom, and the rest, on and on and on. Final thoughts on this one?
Valor controlled the line of scrimmage, which was something that we talked about in the very open. If they could dominate the line of scrimmage, which we saw especially in the second half, more so than the first half, controlling the clock, having long drives, Valor's just got so many weapons offensively. The fact that you can switch between 2 different quarterbacks with 2 different skill sets. Davis, you've got this Watson kid that's now emerging for them. Anderson at tight end. I mean, they are a juggernaut offensively and do just enough defensively to really keep them ahead of the game when they play big opponents like Pomona.
So the final here tonight, 34-21. Valor winning for the first time over Pomona in the regular season in 3 years, and they will stay number 1. We'll see you next week on a Thursday. Broomfield at Monarch. That's our next Denver Post Preps Game of the Week. Thank you to American Furniture Warehouse for being a part of the Post Preps Game of the Week. This has been a presentation of Stream It Sports. For D. White, I'm Cory Lopez. We'll see you next time here from the NAC on the Denver Post Preps Game of the Week.
Want to be part of the next Post Preps TV broadcast? Pull out those phones. If you've got video of an amazing high school sports highlight, we want to see it. Send it to us so you could be featured in the social spotlight segment of Post Preps TV. Tweet it to us at Post Preps or at Kyle Newman DP, or send us a message on our Facebook page. Your clip might make the cut and be featured on the next episode of Post Preps TV. Colorado's news, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7, denverpost.com/DPTV.
Don't want to miss any of our Post Preps TV broadcasts? Like us on Facebook and turn on page notifications at facebook.com/postpreps.